the sand. The games are offensive battles, diving catches, and go-for-it-all plays on every down. And don't expect tonight's game between two teams from the beaches to be any different. Plays drawn in the sand usually send everyone long. The San Diego State Aztecs offense runs the same way. Quarterback David Lowry airs it out from the opening gun, sending bombs to Patrick Rowe and Darnay Scott. But their most potent weapon skips out of the backfield. Freshman Marshall Falk. He leads the nation in scoring, and with 116 yards tonight, he'll lead the nation in rushing as well. The Miami Hurricanes are like the beach bullies. An intimidating defense buries anyone who dares invade their territory. Their offense loves the long ball, and so far this season, that combination stands undefeated. Tonight, it's the Battle of the Beach on ESPN. Tonight, from the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida, the top-ranked Miami Hurricanes play host to the San Diego State Aztecs. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Miami. I'm Sean McDonough, along with Craig James. It's nice to have you with us on ESPN. As the Miami Hurricanes put the nation's longest winning streak on the line, the Hurricanes have won 16 in a row. Here in the Orange Bowl, they've won 43 straight. But the most important number for the Hurricanes, the number 1. They're ranking atop the college football polls. It is a tenuous ranking at best. Craig, which team is number 1?
My vote goes to the Washington Huskies. They're a great football team, good team speed, a dominating defense, and they've taken care of everybody they played this season.
1 week ago tonight on ESPN, the Miami Hurricanes went up to Boston and took on the BC Eagles. The Hurricanes won by 5, but they saw their lead atop the polls shrink over the Washington Huskies. We asked Miami coach Dennis Erickson if he thought his team needed a big win tonight over San Diego State.
Well, we can't concern ourselves about that. All we can do is play as well as we can and hope that we can win the football game, and everything else will take care of itself.
The Hurricanes tonight without their leading rusher, Stephen McGuire. He went out for the season last week against Boston College with a knee injury. Martin Patton gets the start tonight in the one-back offense at running back for Miami. It'll be a tough test tonight for the Hurricanes. The San Diego State Aztecs, a fine football team at 8-2-1. They are heading for the Freedom Bowl, and they bring the 4th best offense of the nation into tonight's game. 2
great wide receivers, Patrick Rowe and Darnay Scott. Both of these receivers will push and put a lot of deep pressure on Miami's secondary. An interesting development here in pregame. Patrick Rowe went back into the locker room because of a sprained ankle. He injured that a couple of weeks ago against Brigham Young. If that happens and he does not play tonight, then running back Marshall Falk, this freshman sensation running back, has got to go out and take a lot of balls underneath, do a good job of catching, spreading out Miami's defense, and somehow getting into the open so that he can utilize his talents.
From Harvard, Pennsylvania, place kicker number 24, Paul Pertetti.
This ESPN presentation of CFA Primetime Football, San Diego State versus Miami, is brought to you by BASF, the spirit of innovation, by Black & Decker, the source of powerful gift ideas, and by ESPN Home Video, producers and distributors of fantastic football plays, available at video and retail stores nationwide.
At BASF, we don't make the house, we make it warmer. We don't make the suit, we make it racier. We don't make the meal, we make it healthier. We don't make the music, we make it clearer. At BASF, we don't make a lot of the products you buy, we make a lot of the products you buy better. BASF, the spirit of innovation.
The Quick Finish Power Sander from Black & Decker. To do as much as easily, your hand would have to move at 15,000 strokes per minute and be equipped with a handy on-off switch. The Quick Finish Power Sander, a powerful gift idea from Black & Decker.
This is beautiful.
How much? Pulsar? Pulsar?
I think he wants your watch.
Some things in life are worth far more than they cost.
No thank you.
Pulsar, there's no time like it.
Welcome back to the Orange Bowl in Miami. The number 1 Hurricanes ready to play host to the San Diego State Aztecs in the final home game for the Miami seniors. Down on the floor of the Orange Bowl, we're pleased to be joined tonight by our colleague, Dr. Jerry Punch.
Thank you very much, Sean. You know, we talked about the fact that last week Miami had a tough time at Boston College. They limped away with a win over the Eagles. And there are those who believe that the Hurricanes are ripe for the upset. But they've come home tonight to the friendly confines of the Orange Bowl, where they've won 43 in a row. Their last loss here way back in 1985. And take a look what arrived yesterday. The 1991 USA Today Coaches Poll National Championship Trophy. Yes, it's in town to be here for the Orange Bowl, with a duplicate to be added in Pasadena for the Rose Bowl. And it's no coincidence this trophy just happened to be set up right beside the Miami Hurricane locker room. The players just ran by here a minute ago and glanced at what they're playing for tonight. A big incentive for the Hurricanes. Back upstairs.
San Diego State.
Thank you, Jerry. Al Luganville, in his third season at San Diego State, he has led the Aztecs to 3 consecutive winning seasons. This, the best of his 3, with an 8-2-1 record and a second-place finish in the WAC behind BYU. Dennis Erickson, also in his third season as head coach at Miami, his 4th head coaching spot. 31-3 in his 3 years as head man with the Hurricanes.
Is 78 degrees.
78 degrees, the game time temperature. It is a humid night here in Miami.
From the east at 7.
Both teams should be accustomed to the warm temperatures, but you don't often find humidity in San Diego, and many teams who have come down here to Florida talk about the humidity as a factor they were not prepared for. Last week, Paul Pasqualoni, the Syracuse coach, told us when they went to Florida State, the humidity was a big problem.
Tonight, though, you got to look back and realize that San Diego State has had 2 weeks to prepare for this ball game. They had not had an open week all season long. They were very tired, beat up. They can use the rest that they've received these last 14 days.
The Aztecs trying to beat a top 10 team for the first time ever. Meanwhile, the Miami Hurricanes have not lost to an unranked team since November of 1984, when the Maryland Terrapins came from behind in one of the great comebacks in college football history to post a 42-40 win over the Hurricanes. San Diego State won the toss and deferred its decision to the second half, so the Aztecs will kick off.
Number 14.
Those chores handled by junior place kicker Andy Trackus.
Not a bad move by San Diego State. What it does is it allows your offense to relax, get into the game, not force them to go out first thing of the snap and go against Miami's tough Hurricane defense and this loud crowd.
You're looking at Kevin Williams, one of the best return men in the nation. Al Luganville said the Aztecs will try to kick it away from him and also punt it away from him. He's back deep along with 35 Darrell Spencer. The Aztecs will have a breeze at their back in the first quarter. Williams with considerable success as a kickoff return man, but he has really distinguished himself this year as a punt returner. And we are underway at the Orange Bowl. They do indeed kick it away from Williams. And Spencer played it on a hop at the 22. And Darrell Spencer is out of bounds at the 29-yard line. Eric Sutton made the tackle for San Diego State. Now the Energizer starting lineups on offense for the Miami Hurricanes. They're led by junior quarterback Gino Torretta from Pinole, California. The rest of the lineup, backs and receivers. Lamar Thomas is the leading receiver for Miami with 32 catches on the year. We mentioned Patton starting for McGuire. Leon Searcy, many think he is one of the best offensive linemen of the country, and he'll be a first-round draft pick in the NFL next year. On the first play from scrimmage, Martin Patton across the 35 and out to the 36-yard line, tackled by Andy Coviello. Now let's meet the Aztecs on defense. It is a much improved defensive team for San Diego State over a year ago. Eric Duncan this week selected first team all-WAC at defensive end. Andy Coviello blitzes a lot from his outside linebacker spot. He leads the team with 11 sacks. And in the secondary, Damon Pieri led all WAC defenders and tackles this year. On the ground, this time they were waiting for Patton. They stopped him for no gain. Andy Coviello at the bottom of the pile. Chris Johnson came up from his safety spot, and Eric Duncan was also in the play for San Diego State.
No gain.
One thing that Miami loses without McGuire at the fullback position is that tough inside running game. Now, Patton is a very quick, very talented football player in his own rights, but he doesn't have that drive that McGuire gave them in their running game.
Toretta completing 55% of his passes for the year. They're looking at 3rd down and 3. To the near side, caught. Lamar Thomas, first down. And he's out of bounds at the 43-yard line. 7-yard gain. Bob Bratkowski, the offensive coordinator, told us during the week, in critical situations, they look to Lamar Thomas.
San Diego State is going to blitz inside with their 2 linebackers. They're going to play very loose in coverage. A nice job of 36 Lamar Thomas just hooking up, getting his first down. A tremendous athlete that is going to require a lot of pursuit to bring him down from San Diego State tonight.
1st and 10 at the 44.
1st and 10. Well, the Miami Hurricanes at their own 44. No backs behind Toretta. 3 wide out to the left. He looked to the right again to Thomas. Caught at midfield. Good move, but he couldn't get away from John Lewis, who made the stop at the 48-yard line of San Diego State, a gain of 8. 2 yards short of a first down is Lamar Thomas.
As you can see with that 17.2-yard average and 6 touchdowns, he is a very deep threat. They'll have to make sure that they do not allow him past their deep 2 coverage. San Diego State's willing to give up the underneath ball, but they do not want to allow the big play for the touchdown.
Now Larry Jones is into the Miami lineup. He's the lone back behind Toretta on 2nd and 2. And they give it to Jones. He has a first down as he's down at the 43-yard line. Lou Foster made the tackle for San Diego State. Jones, a redshirt freshman. He's seen just about as much action this year in the backfield as Martin Patton.
Of course, neither one of those guys played a whole lot with McGuire in there. Didn't have to. McGuire was an emotional leader for this ball club, and it kind of hurt them last week against Boston College. He went down, his teammates realized that, and it emotionally dropped off on their ball club.
Again, no back behind Toretta. No score. We've played nearly 2.5 minutes here at the Orange Bowl. Flags stop the play.
Penalty markers.
Looked like Leon Searcy, the big left tackle, moved ahead of the snap. It's up to Miss Leon at 6'3", 285 pounds.
There's a dead ball foul. Ball start on the offense. 5 yards, still first down.
Joe Ryder is the referee. It is a Big East officiating crew.
This is exactly what San Diego State wanted, to go and show them the blitz, but then yet pull out. He tried to check, and Miami knows they will look bad at times tonight because of some of the things that the Aztecs are doing on defense.
Penalties plagued the Hurricanes last week. 1st and 15. Toretta going deep for Thomas. And it is incomplete, flag thrown. Interference will be the call against John Lewis. We mentioned 2 weeks ago in our telecast of the San Diego State BYU game that the opponents have been picking on John Lewis.
Pass interference on the defense.
And Lamar Thomas is still on the field.
John Lewis, number 2, never turns around to look at the football. He's playing Thomas all the way. Pass interference. He's got to realize as a defensive back that once that man gets past 12, 14 yards, that it is indeed a takeoff. Go ahead and turn around, play the football just like a wide receiver.
Lewis, the adopted son of legendary boxing champion Joe Lewis. He's a sophomore from Point Loma, California. As they tend to Lamar Thomas, we'll take a break. No score early in the first quarter here in Miami.
Ladies and gentlemen, get your official copy
of CFA Primetime Football, San Diego State versus Miami, is brought to you by Chevy Truck, the trucks you can depend on, the trucks that last. And by Budweiser, the king of beers, who reminds you, friends know when to say when. A pleasant night in Miami. We've had off and on showers the last couple of days. Lamar Thomas on the sideline walking around now. And after the pass interference penalty, it's 1st and 10 for the Hurricanes at the 32-yard line of San Diego State. No score. Toretta has a man wide open and caught Horace Copeland out of bounds, close to a first down at the 22-yard line. Copeland, the junior from Orlando. Here's Jerry Punch.
Gentlemen, good news for the Hurricane faithful. Lamar Thomas simply landed on the ball. He looked over and smiled and patted his stomach. His stomach came down on the ball, knocked the breath out of him momentarily. He should be fine, be able to go back in very quickly. Back upstairs.
And with his 2 catches tonight, now 92 receptions in his Miami career for Lamar Thomas, which ties him with Alonzo Highsmith for 7th on Miami's career reception list. Larry Jones, the lone back behind Torretta, on 2nd and less than a yard. They handed it to Jones inside the 20 and down to the 14-yard line. Lou Foster and George Glaze, the tacklers.
Larry Jones has been a very successful running back for them. He just hasn't had the opportunity to play. As we said, McGuire has been their man. They'll come off to the left side. Number 73, Leon Searcy at the top. He's their All-American. Fits onto 45, Coviello, turns him to the inside. And then the outside, 23, Gary Taylor, has got to get his neck and helmet up into the thighs of Jones to bring him down at the line of scrimmage.
An impressive opening drive for Miami. The Hurricanes started at their own 29. They're now at the 13 of San Diego State. Over the middle and caught. Coleman Bell, the tight end, down to the 8-yard line, tackled immediately by Chris Johnson. That's good for a gain of 5.
Both teams run very similar offenses. They run 3 receivers to the right, a tight end to the left, single back in the backfield. They'll motion him out, try to create one-on-one plays for some of their star wide receivers. They've also got a good running game with just one man in the backfield, as we saw in the last one with Larry Jones. They can penetrate to the weak side where they have single blocking man-to-man.
As you saw by those numbers, Miami usually gets it in the end zone when it gets inside the 20. Patton running left, out of bounds, close to a first down. Looks like he's a half-yard short inside the 5. Knocked out there by Mark Roberts, number 50.
Gain is 4 yards.
There'll be a lot of competition between Patton and Larry Jones, and that's a good situation for them here at Miami. Depth, how many coaches do you know, Sean, that would like to have the problem that Dennis Erickson has when his first guy goes down?
I think you touched on the key point earlier. McGuire, a very popular player on the team, and last week the team was a bit deflated when he went out because they realized that he was seriously injured. They do have talented people backing him up. We've seen both Patton and Jones tonight. This is Jones. He has the first down, and he's down to the goal line. Just short of the touchdown, Larry Jones, tripped up by Chris Johnson. 1st and goal for Miami from inside the 1.
San Diego State is a young defense. Now, it's hard to say this and imagine it, but they have been successful in this opening drive. They have not allowed the 60-yard bomb. The pass interference call hurt them, but they're making them chew the clock up and earn their points.
Torretta hands to Jones. Flag thrown. Jones did not get in.
Penalty markers are down. Jones carried, no gain.
Illegal procedure.
Illegal procedure, the call against Miami. That'll move the ball just outside the 5-yard line.
Miami's offense has been hot and cold, particularly over the last 4 or 5 weeks. They'll have a good play, but then the next time they jump off, illegal procedure, something that negates anything, that kind of rhythm that they were establishing. And to be truly #1 in the country and to week in and week out play with the best. I mean, I know Miami's a great ball club, but if they want to reach their peak and be the best they can, they've got to eliminate the small mistakes.
Now 1st and goal from just outside the 5. This is the 11th play of the drive. Larry Jones shifted just behind Searcy. Torretta throws too high, looking for Kevin Williams. Covered on the play by John Lewis.
Intended for Kevin Williams. Defense on number 2.
They try to solo and make it give a chance with number 5, Kevin Williams, up top. I don't know why he threw the ball on the line. I mean, they were running the out ball, but why not utilize all of the field over there and run your fade pattern? Let him go back to that back pylon there and try to go up and make a grab.
The Been throwing regularly at John Lewis here in the opening drive. It's consumed nearly 5 minutes. Back to Larry Jones. Tripped up at the 4-yard line. Good tackle by Eric Duncan, the defensive end, number 92, senior from Stockton, California.
Brought down by Eric Duncan.
So now it's 3rd and goal from the 4.
The longer that State keeps them out of the end zone from a touchdown, the more confidence they're going to gain. And if you recall, Sean, last year you announced the ball game. It was a tremendous one in San Diego, 30-28. This ball club is not intimidated by the Hurricanes.
Now Luganville feels his defense matches up much better this year against the Miami offense than it did a year ago. On 3rd and goal from the 4. Coretta throws, and it is incomplete. Juggled for quite a while by Kevin Williams, but he couldn't haul it in. The coverage by Gary Taylor. And the field goal unit comes on for Miami. So a moral victory for San Diego State as they were facing 1st and goal inside the 1.
Trying to run inside with a slant. He's got pass interference there. He has his hands on Kevin Williams. That should have been pass interference against the Aztecs. Inside gains that they're going to be running from San Diego State. Defensive lineman.
Carlos Huerta has only missed once in his career from inside 30 yards, and that one is good. The officials looked at each other before throwing their arms in the air. Carlos Huerta in his career now 36 of 37 from inside 30 yards. That one a 22-yarder. Miami scores on its opening drive, 3-0 Hurricanes. Miami 3, San Diego State nothing. Following the first drive of the football game by the Hurricanes, a 22-yard field goal without a lot of room to spare for Carlos Huerta.
This ball hits the left upright, ricochets to the right, and that's why Sean was saying the officials looked at each other. It's like, hey, did it make it through your side over there? The one on the right has to readjust, go back, and make sure. 3 points.
Carlos Huerta now with 393 career points. That ties him with Derek Schmidt of Florida State for 3rd on the NCAA all-time scoring list. Only Roman Anderson of Houston and Anthony Thompson of Indiana have scored more points in the history of college football. Darnay Scott waiting for the kickoff. Good kick into the breeze, fielded by Scott at the 2. And the freshman brought it back to the 23-yard line.
Darnay Scott.
Since David Lowry became the starting quarterback, the Aztecs have not lost. They are 6-0-1 in his 7 starts.
A return is good for 20 yards.
The rest of the San Diego State offense will be set in a moment. First and 10 from the 23. Right away, they go to the brilliant freshman Marshall Falk. And he's out to the 26-yard line. A gain of 3.
Gives the
Falk, the main running back, and Ray Rowe, the tight end, has really emerged the last 5 games, according to Coach Al Luganville. Jim Jennings, a converted fullback, started his career at San Diego State in '88 as a fullback. And now as a senior, he's a first-team all-WAC offensive tackle.
Also thank Bumblebee.
And watch for Carson Leomini, number 71, as well tonight. 360 pounds, and with quickness at the strong side guard. 2nd and 7. Lowry pumps and throws. Ray Rowe, the tight end, juggled it, but held on for a first down out to the 40-yard line.
Lowry's pass.
21st catch of the year for Ray Rowe, good for a gain of 13. Rusty Medeiros is playing with an injured leg. The sophomore leads the team in sacks with 10 for the Miami defense. Darren Smith, one of the 5 finalists for the Football News Player of the Year in college football. And in the secondary, Gerald Williams, brilliant the last 2 games for Miami. 18 tackles against Florida State, a career high. Backed that up with 11 last week at Boston College. Marshall Falk. Strong run to the 45. Quality gain of 5 on first down for San Diego State. Ryan McNeil up from his corner to make the tackle.
San Diego State being a young defensive unit, you see them there on the sidelines trying to figure out what's going on out there. They have really matured over the season. That's something they couldn't do early on. They couldn't make the adjustments that they needed to make on the field.
3-0 Miami. The Aztecs with the football for the first time of the game. 7:45 now remaining in the first quarter. The Aztecs empty the backfield. Lowry on the quarterback draw. First down into Miami territory at the 47-yard line. A gain of 8 for David Lowry. And yesterday, Sonny Lubick, the Miami defensive coordinator, told us they expected a couple of quarterback draws.
With this kind of offense, you'll see everybody is spread out. There's only a few people on the inside. Your receivers are wide to the right. 56 Barrel, he comes out. That's his responsibility, but a good job of the lineman finding the man that's responsible for the quarterback.
1st and 10 from the 47 of Miami. Lowry with time, throws, incomplete. A little bit low for Patrick Rowe.
Lowry's pass intended for Patrick Rowe. Williams.
And he is hobbling a little bit, Craig, as he heads back to the San Diego State huddle. Left in the third quarter in the game 2 weeks ago against BYU with a sprained left ankle.
An All-American last season, a leader, very much liked on this ball club, and they do need him tonight.
2nd and 10. 3-0 Miami. Moving along the line of scrimmage. Eric Miller pointing at the left side of the San Diego State line. Particularly at the tackle, Tony Nichols, number 73.
There's a dead ball. False start on the offense. 5 yards. Repeat 2nd down.
Number 73, Tony Nichols, over on the left side. Miami's going to come with the pressure, and they knew it was going to come. If you're an offensive lineman, you can't wait to get back so you can make sure you got your man. Got to hang in there.
And to give Tony his due, he this week was selected to the all-WAC second team on offense. On the draw. And down to the 45-yard line, Marshall Falk. He got back to penalty yardage and 3 more, tackled by Hurley Brown, the safety. That's a gain of 8 for the true freshman from New Orleans, who was recruited by the Miami Hurricanes, among others, but Miami, like so many other big-time schools, was looking at Marshall as a defensive back.
Miami has not seen a running back at this caliber all season. This guy can run the football. He makes people miss, and he's got power.
Now 3rd down and 8 yards to go for a San Diego State first down. They're at the Miami 45. 4-man rush. Lowry complete. Darnay Scott struggled but did not get the first down yardage. He's about 1.5 yards short at the 39-yard line.
Darnay Scott.
The decision, 4-down territory.
Barrow and Williams.
As balanced a team as you've got with San Diego State, you've got to like your chances. You've got a big 295-pound offensive line. Miami's defensive line is 257 pounds. Match up on them, get your man, push him out. Penetration would kill you. That's the only thing.
Now Luganville is going to go for it on 4th down and almost 2. They've had moderate success on 4th down this year. Two seconds on the play clock. They just did get it on. Under pressure, Lowry incomplete. Intended for Rowe and broken up by Hurley Brown.
Intended for Ray Rowe. Incomplete. The Hurricanes take over on down.
A nice drive by San Diego State. They were able to see what Miami was going to give them. They knew that they were going to have pressure on that play. That's why they ran the play action pass. They wanted to get it out in the flat to Ray Rowe. It's just a nice job of number 8, Hurley Brown.
So a time-consuming drive for each team on their first possessions of the football game. Miami on offense for the second time with a 3-0 lead. Toretta going deep. For Thomas, incomplete. Just a bit too long. Good coverage on the play by Gary Taylor, and a good throw by Toretta into a pretty stiff wind.
Broken up by Gary Taylor.
I think Lamar thought there was interference on Taylor on that play.
Well, there will be a flag thrown here any moment if he doesn't get away from this official. That is the evil stare.
It sure was, wasn't it?
That's like number 36. You better move on back. There's a little hand movement going there, but I think it was as much from Lamar Thomas as it was from number 23, Taylor.
Coretta hit on his first 4 passes. He's now missed on his last 3. Quick pass caught. And Williams wrapped up immediately. And you better do that with Kevin Williams, or could be off to the races. He's down at the 44-yard line, 3rd and 5. Coming for the Hurricanes.
Team pursuit. That's probably something they put on the blackboard if you're an Aztec all week, is get to the football. We cannot have one-on-one tackling out in our open field because obviously Miami's as talented as anybody in the country.
Williams has been seeing more and more action as a receiver in recent weeks. He's a sophomore from Dallas, Texas. 3rd and a long 4. They come after Coretta, and he throws incomplete. Forced to rush the throw because of the rush. He was looking for Williams.
Number 45, Andy Coviello at the top of the screen will come from behind. 34, Robert Griffith almost gets to him. Coviello comes in. That's the kind of disruption that you're looking for from the Aztecs.
Paul Snyder on the punt. Junior from Laguna Niguel, California. T.C. Wright waiting for the punt. Big rush. And Snyder just did get it off. He took a dive. The referee, Joe Ryder, didn't go for it. And Wright thrown down immediately at the 22-yard line.
Snyder's punt is 33 yards.
3-0 Miami. San Diego State's ball when we come back.
Might have been a late hit coming in on Miami.
Face mask on the punting team, on the run back, 5 yards, 1st and 10.
5-yard penalty for a face mask against Miami. And it will be San Diego State's ball when we return to the Orange Bowl after this. McDonough with Craig James and Dr. Jerry Punch back at the Orange Bowl in Miami. 3-0. The Hurricanes have the lead. Wayne Pittman just into the game, takes the handoff and bursts through a hole for a first down. Out to the 40-yard line, a gain of 12. Here's Dr. Jerry Punch.
Gentlemen, a minute ago, Brett Engels, the offensive line coach for San Diego State, told his young line, remember, Marshall Faulk's forte has been able to cut back against the grain. We have to seal off the backside. We got some great linebackers out there, but if we can seal off the backside and Marshall can get the inside handoff on the trap and cut it back, we're going to score in a hurry. Back upstairs.
Very true there. Backside blocking, we'll watch it all night. Falk is tremendous.
Pittman goes in motion. Miami comes on a blitz, and Lowry is down. Jesse Armstead and Michael Barrow combined on the sack.
Lowry is sacked by Armstrong and Barrow.
Miami coaches said, we will come out and we will blitz. Lowry is a sophomore. We plan on getting to him early. Lots of pressure. Number 1, Jesse Armstead, an outstanding linebacker with great speed, 4.5 speed in the 40. He'll get to you every time. Now, San Diego State has to have break-off routes with their wide receivers. 3 steps, get rid of the football.
Loss of 5, 2nd and 15. They're down to 3:24 to play in the first quarter. On the delay, Wayne Pittman. And he is stopped at the line of scrimmage for no gain. Darren Smith made the tackle. He was named first-team All-American this week, as selected by the Football News. Tommy Tuberville, the linebacker coach at Miami, says Darren is the most natural linebacker who has ever played for the Hurricanes.
Plays all phases of the game well. Pass, defense, run, knowledgeable.
Now 3rd and 15. 3-0 Miami. 2:40 to play first quarter. 4-man rush. Lowry throws incomplete. Looking for the tight end Ray Rowe. Hurley Brown put the hit on Rowe after the ball sailed over his head. And the Aztecs will punt for the first time.
By
Jason Savorn, the sophomore from Rancho Cordova, California. His 38.1 average, lowest in the WAC this year. And the question is, will they kick it to Kevin Williams? Yesterday, Al Luganville said they would try to punt it away from him. Give him a chance to return his 4th punt for a touchdown this year. Williams kicked it. Free ball. Now it's picked up by Williams at the 15. One man to beat. He's tackled from behind at the 3-yard line. He's returned 3 for a touchdown this year. He's had 1 call back because of a penalty, and on one other occasion he was tackled at the 1. This time he was tackled inside the 3 after an 82-yard punt return. Terrell Steen saved the touchdown.
I would say this is called living right. He makes a mistake. I mean, I know he wants to go over and stop the penetration of the ball, but you've just got to get on the thing and not try to run with it. Now, boy, I know a lot of players that would like to have that kind of luck.
We are told officially this goes as a fumble return and not as a punt return. Won't help his stats there. Fumble! Jones lost it, and the Aztecs have recovered. Damon Pieri came up with the football at the 1-yard line. So after a huge break, Barry Lamb, the defensive coordinator, watches his Chargers get the ball right back.
Does that silence the crowd? Whoa. I'd like to make a point. 16.3 yard average on a punt return. Folks, if you can get half of that, most teams are tickle pink. And then big plays by a young defensive unit. Those guys go to the bench, they sit down and get a cup of water, and they're, instead of 10-0, you're looking at 3-zip and turning the football back over to your offense. Huge, huge confidence builder.
The area has been bothered all week by the flu. He's a junior, just voted to the first team all-WAC defense. From their own 1, 1st and 10 for San Diego State. Trailing 3-0. Ball gets it out to the 3. Tackled by Anthony Hamlet, number 97.
On the fumble earlier, 23 Larry Jones, as he goes into the line of scrimmage and gets up. A helmet, like maybe on his own teammate, the ball comes loose. If you're going to leave the ground as a ball carrier, you are taught to get up in the air and turn your shoulders so that helmets cannot hit your stomach or even the ball in your hands.
2nd and a long 8. 3 receivers out to the right. Paul, the lone running back. Lowry throws, caught by Patrick Rowe. He struggled, but did not appear to get the first down. He looks to be a half-yard short, just beyond the 10-yard line. Ryan McNeil made the tackle to stop Rowe from picking it up.
You can see here that there's a lot of respect for number 1, Patrick Rowe and Darnay Scott. They are playing back loose. They're not up there hugging tight. And that's all that you're asking for. That injured, that sprained ankle, you've got to wonder how much that affected Patrick trying to cut out of there.
3rd and less than a yard. Less than a minute to play in the first quarter. 3-0 Miami. Hawk shifted out. Lowry takes it himself and appears to have the first down. Needed to get to the 11. They're spotting him down at the 12. 1st and 10, San Diego State.
Once again, when you got a big offensive line, 295 pounds, take advantage of it. You got a 20-something pound mismatch there. Go ahead, bull out. Come in like it's like a V wedge. Those offensive linemen just try to come together and make a point like a flock of geese flying north and get that quarterback back in behind those big haunches and go.
Well, this time of the year, they better be flying south.
Well, this is true. And I'm an avid duck hunter. What am I talking about?
Lowry throws, intercepted. Darrell Williams, he will score.
David has got to be patient here. If you'll watch at the bottom of your screen, number 1, Rowe is going deep. Now, he had that there. This is an outstanding interception by Darrell Williams. That's why he's an All-American. Concentration, seeing the football, and never giving yourself up.
They went through the hands of Larry Maxey, returned 27 yards for a touchdown, and Carlos Huerta makes it 10-0. Third interception of the year for Darrell Williams. Coming up following our game, we'll send you out to Hawaii for the first meeting ever between number 18 Notre Dame and the Hawaii Rainbows. Notre Dame coming off 2 big losses to Penn State and Tennessee. This is their last chance to tune up for Florida in the Sugar Bowl. Tonight they're on the Hawaiian Islands to take on the Rainbows. Tough assignment for Steve Physiok and Gary Danielson. They'll pull themselves off the Hawaiian sands and bring you all the action following this one.
Was that office politics or what? How did those guys get out to Hawaii?
Well, we didn't exactly have a tough chore the last couple of weeks. San Diego 2 weeks ago and here in Miami tonight.
Kind of like, don't throw me in the briar patch, right? The old bunny rabbit saying. Once Lowry gets back into the pocket, he's got to realize that there are only 4 people coming. He did not sense the pressure coming. He has plenty of time. Stay set in the pocket. See what's going on. Just a little high. Maxey couldn't come down with a catch. And once again, there are not a lot of defensive backs in the country that would have had the control of their body to make that interception.
Hurricanes with a 10-0 lead. Huerta kicks off. Darnay Scott from the 6. Lost the football. And the Aztecs recover it back at the 13-yard line. Kurt Tyson, a backup linebacker, number 94, fell on the Scott fumble.
Darnay Scott, one thing about him is he goes 100%. And when you're flying up in a pile like this, it's going to happen at times. Ball, the helmet goes right onto the football. You've got to cover it up, especially on a kickoff return. 2 hands over the ball when you meet that wedge.
Go to the UM Athletic Scholarship Fund. More information.
7 seconds left in the quarter, and the Aztecs begin at their own 13, trailing 10-0.
And we promoted this thing. I wouldn't be surprised. Why not? Air it out. Go deep. Stretch that secondary.
Marshall Falk lined up behind Lowry. And they go to the draw with Falk. Marshall trips out to the 16-yard line. Darren Prine made the tackle on the final play of the first quarter. After 1 quarter at the Orange Bowl, the Miami Hurricanes 10 and the San Diego State Aztecs nothing. Sean McDonough with Craig James and Dr. Jerry Punch in Miami for the Hurricanes and the Aztecs. After 1 quarter, it's 10-0 Miami on 2nd and 7. Here comes Marshall Falk. Stumbling, and that's the only reason Darrell Williams caught him at the 46-yard line of Miami. A gain of 38 for Marshall Falk.
Every time they hand the ball off to number 28, I find myself, I'm getting out of my seat. I'm trying to find out which direction he's going to go. He's got the chance to go all the way. The little delayed draws right up the middle. And this is the difference between an average running back and a great one. He outruns Miami's secondary's team pursuit. How many backs have you seen this year that can turn the corner on Miami?
Not many. Charles Farms got a hand on him and tripped him up enough to allow Williams to close and make the play. 6 carries, 58 yards now for Marshall Falk. And he's 116 to lead the nation in rushing this year. Looks like Lowry's changing the play on 1st and 10. Going deep. And well out of bounds. Ooh, the hit of the night by Merton Harris on a cameraman. Not one of our ESPN cameramen. They have better agility. They would have been able to avoid the hit. That fella
2nd down and 10.
was not as fortunate. On the safe sideline, here's Jerry Punch.
I wish I had better news for the San Diego State Aztecs. They may have lost one of their key weapons, freshman wide receiver Darnay Scott. You see Dr. Weil, Pete Weil, they're talking to him. They think he may have a separation of his left shoulder from returning that kickoff when he fumbled a little bit ago. They're going to x-ray him at halftime and see what happens. He may be able to play in the second half, but it's doubtful. Back up there.
They came on a blitz, and Falk got to the 43-yard line. Again, tripped up by Charles Farms. That's a gain of 3. Looked for a moment like it might be a more promising play for the Aztecs.
Oh, what a great tackle by Charles Farms. Marshall Falk's not exactly one of those guys you want to walk in the park with and have him dance with you.
3rd down and 7.
Patrick Rowe. He's hobbled by an ankle injury. Scott might be out for the game, as Jerry told you, with the shoulder problem, and that is the outside speed for San Diego State. 1 minute played, second quarter, 10-0 Miami. Lowry on 3rd down. Flags stop the play. Might have taken too much time. Clock is showing 0.
There's a dead ball foul. Delay of game on the offense. 5 yards. Still 3rd down.
They knew, and particularly David Lowry, knew that there was going to be a blitz and that Miami was going to come tight with them. So he's trying to allow his offensive linemen as much time as possible to make those correct calls up front. But as he gains experience, he'll realize when that play clock's getting down to 3-2, and he'll go ahead and get along with the cadence.
Aztecs 1 for 3 on 3rd down tonight. This is 3rd and 12. 4-man rush. Lowry going deep for Patrick Rowe. Incomplete. Well covered by Ryan McNeil. Sonny Lubick, the defensive coordinator, says McNeil is playing brilliant football the last few weeks. He had a career-high 6 tackles last week against Boston College.
See, Ryan McNeil, or number 47 McNeil, is back deep. There's no way he's going to allow Rowe to get beyond him. So you've got to be smart. David Lowry has got to go with the underneath passing game and set up the deep ball.
So Warren, will he punt it to Williams? Al Lugendorf said he wouldn't, but this is the second one right at Williams. A little bit short of him in the athletic roll. Down by Steen at the 12-yard line.
The punt is good for 36
13:25
yards.
to play in the first half. It's Miami 10 and San Diego State nothing. Presentation of CFA Primetime Football, San Diego State versus Miami, is brought to you by Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering. And by GMAC, helping America put GM quality on the road. Al Luganville said yesterday San Diego State could not turn over the football. One big turnover for the Aztecs. An interception by Lowry, run in by Darrell Williams. And that's the only touchdown in this game. Darrell Spencer still on his feet at the 35. Tackled from behind at the 47-yard line by Andy Coviello. And Spencer is grasping his right leg. A gain of 34.
This is what you call the H-back counter. The left side of your screen, number 35, will come around with one of the guards. He logs 42 Terrell Steen, and the entire corner is there for them. 39 and number 9 have got to use that sidelines as an ally. They've got to push Darrell Spencer over there, and just a good call that takes advantage of maybe a youthful defense that had overcommitted to the wide side of the field.
Just the 4th rush of the year for Spencer. He comes from great football bloodlines, the cousin of Mercury Morris. He's also the cousin of Dennis McKinnon and Tim Spencer. Just his 4th carry this year. 1st and 10 for Gino Torretta and the Hurricanes at their own 47. They played 2 minutes in the second quarter. Torretta throws incomplete. He was happy just to get rid of it under pressure. Intended for Bobby Bird, number 12.
Toretta's pass intended for Bobby Bird.
Torretta not really a guy that's got a ton of mobility in the pocket. San Diego State has designed their pass rush today to bring linebackers to the inside and to loop their outside ends, defensive ends to the outside to contain him. That time it worked. They put pressure on him.
Spencer still hobbling along the near sideline. 2nd and 10. Beretta hit as he threw. Man open. Incomplete. Thomas was behind the defense, but the ball was a little bit long and to the sideline. Tomorrow night, the Los Angeles Raiders mount their playoff drive as they face the San Diego Chargers, led by hard-hitting running back Marion Butts. You can join Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann for all the action at 8 p.m. Sunday night, immediately following Chris Berman and all the day's highlights on prime time at 7. You can get ready for tomorrow's NFL action with game day at noon Eastern. Raiders playing excellent football as the NFL heads down the home stretch. Beretta on 3rd and 10, first down. Chris Jones. Lewis. Penalty flag down as Lewis finally got him to the ground at the 26-yard line. And they might add to that as apparently Lewis grabbed the face mask of Chris Jones, the redshirt freshman from West Palm Beach. It's a 27-yard gain as they sort out the flag.
Personal foul. Face mask on the offense.
Face mask on the offense.
Chris Jones is up top by himself. They came with a 7-man blitz on the inside, so that puts number 2, John Lewis, by himself. Really nice job of execution. Gino Torretta threw that ball just as Jones was making the cut back inside for the hookup. Face mask goes right there. John Lewis had the feeling he was steer wrestling there. Man.
Dennis Erickson to the crowd. Not in agreement with the call, but it was a good call as the replay showed. 3rd down and less than a yard. That's the 3rd penalty against Miami for 25 yards. Martin Patton has the first down, tackled by Mark Roberts. But Patton got to the 41 to pick up the first down for Miami.
You've got to be able to come back right now, get a touchdown.
Making adjustments on the sideline. The communication between a coach and a player is just, it's vital. You've got to have it. They're a good offensive line. The offensive line is the strength of this unit. If they perform well, the team does well. Marshall Faulk running the ball has been very successful so far in this game.
Jason Marucci, number 22, is checked into the backfield for Miami on 1st and 10. They fake to Marucci. Torretta, flag thrown to the backfield, pass incomplete. Looking for Coleman Bell, the tight end. Flag thrown where Williams, the wide receiver, was trying to block for Torretta.
Clipping on the offense.
Williams guilty of clipping.
He'll be the slot man to the left side. His job is to come back inside and make sure that he cuts off the inside penetration. You'll see it from the right side of your screen. 45 Coviello from behind Kevin Williams. Kind of baffles me what his argument might have been with the official. Looked like it was pretty much clipping to me.
Clipping on the offense. 15 yards, spot foul, 2 first down.
Well, they are really backing up. It's 15 yards from the point of the foul, so back they go to their own 34-yard line.
And you just think back a couple of plays earlier, and you had the nice completion to Chris Jones that looked to be a first down. You had the face mask on Jones, then you've got the clipping penalty on Kevin Williams, and a lot of yards to make up here in this drive.
1st and 35. 10-0 Miami with 11:47 to play in the first half. And now contact made by the Aztec defender, Eric Duncan, guilty of the infraction.
There's dead ball, offside, on the defense, 5 yards, still first down.
Little showboating on defense. Gambling, you're trying to show him the blitz, jump back out of it. Now he bumped the old noggin on him. Those guys are so big they can't control all 280 pounds.
Now in baseball, sometimes when a player gets hit by a pitch on the foot, he shows the shoe polish. If the officials admit that, maybe Kelvin Harris could have pointed to his helmet.
Pointing along the line, flag thrown.
Flags are down.
Welcome to Flag Day in Miami.
There's dead ball. Ball start on the offense. 5 yards.
Well, they've covered this ground before. Dennis Erickson, now the head man of the most successful program in college football in the last decade. They try to extend the second longest home winning streak in college football history to 44 with a win tonight. Over the last 6 years in all, 65-5 for the Hurricanes. And they own the longest current winning streak, 16 games. On 1st and 35, a blitz. And Coretta throws it to the sideline. Looked like it was intended for Alan Hill, the backup quarterback, number 7, along the near sideline.
I'd say
incomplete as he overthrew him.
I'd say that was being aggressive on Barry Lamb's part, the defensive coordinator. You know, you're looking at 1st and 35, and yet you go ahead and you bring the blitz. Andy Coviello, 45, outside. Robert Griffith, 34. They come inside, and it forces Torretta just to get rid of the ball and eat it.
Gino Torretta now 6 for 13 for 63 yards. 2nd and 35. Showing blitz again. And now they fall back. Torretta dumps it off, incomplete. Intended for Patton. And it'll be 3rd and 35.
Toretta's pass intended for Martin Patton.
Just giving them a different look all of the time. It's confusing Miami's offensive line. You show 7, you show 8, you make it look like you're coming, you drop 7 in coverage, you bring 4. Each play giving them something different. I mean, you know, how many times do you see a team blitz on 1st and 35? Not a whole lot.
Well, how many times did you see 1st and 35?
Not a whole lot.
And if you're Dennis Erickson, you hope you don't see it again anytime soon. Now 3rd and 35. 4 wideouts, no backs behind Torretta. Oh, wide open is Copeland. Touchdown, Miami. 66 yards.
Miami coaches said that when they drop 8 into coverage, which they do here, we've got to find the opening. Well, that time, number 24, Eric Sutton, blew his assignment. He was the outside left corner. He's got to continue down the sideline with the widest wide receiver. That's stealing candy there.
And Huerta adds the extra point, but there is a flag down. Torretta with another long bomb. The first game of the year. He hit Copeland on a 99-yard touchdown pass against Arkansas.
Holding on the defense.
Holding the call against San Diego State. 17 pass plays this season now for Miami of 30 yards or more. 9 of them have gone for touchdowns after the 66-yarder from Torretta to Horace Copeland. 17-0 Miami. 11:24 to play in the first half. Let's take a look now at the U.S. Army storyline from the Orange Bowl in Miami. After a 22-yard field goal by Carlos Huerta, Darrell Williams made it 10-0 with a 27-yard return of an interception for a Miami touchdown. And moments ago, Gino Torretta hit Horace Copeland with a 66-yard pass on 3rd down and 35. Marshall Faulk, looking to be the NCAA leading rusher this year, needs 116 yards to do that. He has 61 already. Craig, how can you possibly give up a home run ball like that on 3rd and 35?
That's a blown assignment. That's something that a young defensive unit will do. Can't happen against the #1 team in the country.
Huerta looking for more points. He already has 5 tonight. That one went through the uprights. With 5 points, Huerta is now the second all-time leading scorer in NCAA history with 395. He just moved past Anthony Thompson, the former Indiana running back, by 1 point, and he trails now only Roman Anderson of Houston, and Carlos needs 28 points to catch him. Huerta was kicking off from the 45 because of the holding penalty on the extra point against San Diego State. Marshall Falk, a gain of 1. Let's check in with Dr. Jerry Punch.
Well, gentlemen, headed in the locker room, that is Lamar Thomas, the junior wide receiver for Miami. We saw a minute ago that Darnay Scott, the wide receiver for San Diego State, had an injury. Now, what apparently happened is Lamar Thomas got hit and was complaining of pain in the sternum area. That's the breastbone. And he was having trouble getting a deep breath. They really couldn't hear because of all the noise here in the Orange Bowl. So they're going to take him in the locker room and listen to his lungs, make sure everything is nice and clear before they bring him back out. We'll give you an update in just a moment. Back upstairs.
Thank you, Jerry. 2nd and 9 for the Aztecs. They trail 17-0 at 10:45 to play in the first half. That pass incomplete, intended for Will Tate. Darrell Williams had the coverage.
You notice that there's a tight coverage that time. There, Miami, they did not have a defensive back over 10 yards deep in coverage. Darnay Scott, Patrick Rowe, without the two of them together and complementing each other with that potential deep ball, it really, really restricts what you can do as an offensive unit.
We saw 2 weeks ago on ESPN, San Diego State is a very explosive offense, but they're facing the #1 scoring defense in the nation tonight. The Hurricanes allowing just 8.8 points per game. Lowry, Falk with a lot of running to do. He won't get close to the first down. He's down at the 23 in the arms of Ryan McNeil.
If you're San Diego State, you got to turn the ball game totally over to Marshall Falk. You throw him the flat pattern, you throw him the curl route over the middle, you throw him the side screen passes, the draws to him, the OT counters. Patrick Rowe and Darnay Scott are both hurting. I would much rather see the ball in the hands of a great player like Marshall Falk. It's 100%.
Savourn's third punt, he just did get it off. Williams from the 34. And he brought it back to the 47. Hurricanes wanted a late hit along the sideline. There is no flag down. The tackle made by Lou Foster.
You lose a wide receiver like Lamar Thomas and you bring in a guy like Kevin Williams. Great athlete. True speed.
Oh, speed indeed. 4.28 was his time in the 40 during spring football. The fastest time of the 40 in Miami football history. Randall Hill, who's gone on to the National Football League, was the previous record holder. Back to the ground with Martin Patton. Good tackle as he was driven back at the 49-yard line. Darrell Lewis up from his safety spot to make the play. He's a sophomore from San Diego, transferred to San Diego State from Ohio State and sat out last year.
That's the way you run support from free safety. He read the zone blocking to the left side, and this defense sees it all the time because this is what their offense runs.
Patton gained 2, now 5 carries, 16 yards for Martin. 2nd and 8. Beretta, nice catch. Forrest Copeland out of bounds. He appears to be a yard short of the first down at the 44 of San Diego State. Gary Taylor pushed him out.
Gary Taylor on the defense for the Aztecs. Official timeout.
Those are the kind of blitz routes that we were talking about San Diego State needing to be able to utilize. You see the blitz coming, you go up, you break your route off. Every time that a blitz comes, there's a blitz side. Wide receivers have to be very disciplined in what they're doing. Quarterbacks have to have confidence in what they're going to do.
Timeout for a measurement, and they are indeed short. All of us at ESPN looking forward to the Thrifty Car Rental Bowl Week that starts December 29th. Craig and I will be in Memphis for the Liberty Bowl, Air Force and Mississippi State. Then on Monday, December 30th at 8 p.m., live from San Diego, it's BYU, the champions of the WAC, against Iowa, ranked number 7. And on New Year's Day, NC State against number 12 East Carolina in the Peach Bowl from Atlanta at 11:30 Eastern Time. That's a.m. Third down, less than a yard for the Hurricanes at the San Diego State 44. 17-0 Miami. Patton did not get there. He lost yardage back to the 45-yard line. Terrell Steen led the defensive surge for the Aztecs. Crowd imploring Dennis Erickson to go for it, and it appears he will, as Copeland and Spencer have come onto the field.
And a really good play to run in this situation right here. You know you're going to have a fired-up, aggressive, youthful defense. That play-action pass with the speed of your wide receivers or a tight end coming out could be lethal.
Better than 50% on fourth down this year for Miami. Coretta, the quick pop, incomplete. Through the arms of Copeland, and the Aztecs will take over on downs as Gary Taylor had the coverage, but that was a ball that should have been caught.
Taylor on the defense for the Aztecs.
And with the exception of a couple of poor things that have happened, the punt return that happened, you had the interception in the end zone. You eliminate those things, and Al Luganville knows his ball club would be in this game.
The official sponsor of the Sensations Super Shuttle is the official airport ground transportation company, Miami International Airport, and proud sponsor of Miami Hurricane.
17-0 Miami. Hurricanes felt they had to make a point tonight, Craig. Talking to some of their players, they lost a little bit of lead atop the polls because of their lackluster showing last week against a much improved Boston College team. But they are playing inspired football tonight, trying to convince the skeptics that they are indeed the #1 team in the nation.
And it brings up the point, you need to have a national championship game between Washington and Miami. Would you turn your television on to watch that?
So, of course I would. Oh, especially if it was on ESPN in the cheap promo department. First and 10 with 9.5 minutes to play in the first half. Lowry threw incomplete. Did not have a receiver in the area. He was pressured by Mark Caesar, and it'll be 2nd and 10. And welcome back into the national championship picture, Florida Gators, after their win today against Florida State.
We showed you the graphic illustrating how big it is for Miami here at the Orange Bowl. Florida is outstanding at home. They've got a tremendous following of fans, and it's hard to win down there.
You've been saying for weeks that Florida was in that game against the Seminoles. On 2nd and 10, Marshall Faulk drives out near the 49, a gain of 4. Let's check in with Tim Brando.
We're thinking right along with you, Sean. Casey Weldon had a chance on 4th and 9, could have run, but this pass was batted down by Will White. We'll have more on this game, George Perlis and Pat Dye's future at halftime.
Craig, it looked for a while in that one in the second half that Florida had that game under control, and the Seminoles very nearly stole it.
Yep.
3rd and 7. Lowry to Patrick Rowe with running room. Down to the 32-yard line. Ryan McNeil saved the touchdown. He was the only man who had a shot at Rowe. That's a gain of 20 and a big first down for the Aztecs.
Patrick Rowe is telling his bench right now, look, I can't make these kind of cuts. He's up at the very top. #1, Patrick Rowe. He will go out. You'll have people that are following. They're trying to put a lot of pressure on the inside zone. Now, if he tries to make this cut, he tried to do it with his right foot, all on his right ankle, and he just couldn't make that severe cut.
And that's probably what he's telling the training staff along the SDSU sideline. They send Falk out in motion. Flag thrown. Pass caught by Rowe. And he's knocked out of bounds by Darren Smith, but it looked like there was a clear-cut case of holding in the middle of the offensive line.
Holy on the offense.
Craig, I think if we had flags, we could have thrown them from up here.
Yeah, that looked like pretty obvious when number 71, the left guard, Carson Leomidi, Mark Caesar, 76, just gets past him in the left hand. We couldn't see it as well right there, but he did grab Caesar and try to hold him up. Caesar's a big guy.
But not compared to Carson. At 6'3", 360 pounds.
Woo.
And we saw him last night. 360 is giving him the benefit of the doubt.
He got on the elevator, and the elevator, it was a severe strain on the cables.
He got on the 4th floor, and before he pushed the button, he was on the 3rd floor. Lowry. Still on his feet. He stumbles down to the 35. Gain of 10 for David Lowry, described by Coach Luganville as a street fighter. Here's Carson. We only list him at 340 because that's what they list him on the roster as, but the coaches, and I think even Carson himself, would be the first to admit that 340 is quite a bit on the light side.
Yeah, about 25 shy.
Second down, 13 yards to go for a San Diego State first down. 17-0 Miami with 7:40 to play in the second quarter. Quick pass intended for Rowe, incomplete. Rowe has been a regular target. Val Luganville's offense here tonight. Lowry doesn't look like the same quarterback we saw 2 weeks ago. That seemed to be a routine throw of just a couple of yards, and it was nowhere near the place where Ray Rowe would have liked to have seen him.
And I think it's maybe because he's being mentally psyched out by Miami, the presence of their defense. Brigham Young sacked him 5 or 6 times, so he had more pressure technically in that ball game.
5 for 14 is Lowry for 48 yards and the 1 interception. On 3rd down and 13, he throws, intercepted. Matt Britton, a backup linebacker, intercepted the pass. First interception for Britton, the senior from Miami.
You'll see them drop in coverage. 31 up at the top of your screen. He'll go back into cover 3 there. And then you've got underneath, he just threw the ball poorly. Maybe he had anticipated that Falk had a little zone hookup and should have gone back towards the middle of the field. But you throw the ball where the wide receiver is.
That's the first career interception for Britton, who's been a backup throughout his career. 17-0 Hurricanes, and they have the ball 1st and 10 for their own 34. Beretta throws low. He was looking for Darrell Spencer at midfield. Lamar Thomas is back into the football game, and here's Jerry Punch.
Well, it's good news, Sean. If they brought Lamar back on the field, I spoke with the doctor. He said the lungs were clear, the heart sounded fine. Apparently, it was what we had estimated before. He was having some cramping in his stomach and some cramping in the muscles between the ribs. He was having trouble getting a deep breath. They wanted to put him back in the game, let him run a couple routes, see how he felt. That time, he went about 45 yards down on a deep post, ran back to the huddle. It seems to be okay right now. Back upstairs.
2nd and 10. Beretta caught. Copeland couldn't get away from Taylor. And Horace been able to shake Gary Taylor. That might have been another long touchdown. Toretta to Copeland. As it is, it's a 13-yard gain out to the 47 and a Miami first down.
The Aztecs have really been worrying about the hitch and go. They were anticipating. Maybe they've been drilled so much during this practice week, or the last 2 weeks, technically, truthfully, is that, man, they're not playing up enough tight. You know, you got to get up there and get a little kind of pressure on these wide receivers.
And despite blitzes, they aren't putting much pressure on Gino Toretta lately. 4 catches down for 95 yards for Copeland. Deep down the seam and incomplete. A couple of Hurricanes in the area. Williams and Spencer running down the hash mark.
Gino Toretta, in his own right, if he ends up having the #1 team in the country and has led them to that, it's hard to, I guess, replace Desmond Howard because he has had a Heisman year. But Gino Toretta has had a good one himself.
He had to answer some of the skeptics when this season started, and certainly he has done that. And as a junior, he will certainly be at the forefront of Heisman speculation at the start of next season. 2nd and 10. There's the pump fake and go, but it was well covered by Gary Taylor, as Lamar Thomas was the intended receiver.
Third down and 10.
Lamar Thomas that time, he did go with a hitch and go. A little humidity down in southern Florida. I'm glad we don't feel that bad up here.
I can sympathize with him, though. It is a sticky night. 4 of 7 are the Hurricanes on 3rd down tonight. They lead 17-0. 6:46 to play in the first half. Fumble. And now they're ruling it an incomplete pass. Referee Joe Ryder saying the arm was coming forward by Toretta as Terrell Steen put the hit on. So it'll be 4th down, and the punting team will come on.
Tackled by Terrell Steen.
They'll get pressure. Terrell Steen, number 42, beats his man there. It did look like he had come back with his arm, and then his arm wanted to go forward. That's a judgment call, though. It could go either way.
Paul Snyder. Coach Erickson says he punted better than anticipated this year. That's a low, wobbly punt. T.C. Wright. Good return out to the 36-yard line. The Aztecs need to get something going on offense. They trail 17-0. 6:26 to play, first half. 17-0 Miami with 6:26 to play in the second quarter. 1st and 10 for the Aztecs from their own 35. Wayne Pittman squirts out to the 42-yard line. Coming up in just over 6 minutes, our halftime report with Tim Brando and Lee Corso. I'll have scores and highlights from all of the college football action. The playoffs are underway in other divisions of college football, and a big game in Division 1A here in the state of Florida. Number 3, Florida State, and number 5, Florida. George Perlis and Pat Dye, their futures are in question, and the Irish are in paradise. We'll preview the game coming up next. Notre Dame and Hawaii, first meeting ever between those two. Lowry to Rowe, caught for a first down if they give him the forward progress, and they will. Out beyond the 46-yard line. 1st and 10, Aztecs.
Is the receiver.
Miami's secondary. Now we'll see them drop into a 2 deep. You see your 2 deep safeties here. They're at the top of your screen. They're going to have 2 back. They'll have 5 underneath. 4 are rushing. It's a nice job of Ray Rowe, 89, catching the ball in the middle of the screen. They've got to take what's being given to them. Bring somebody across behind that initial line of linebackers and strong safety.
On 1st and 10. Ooh, Lowry lucky that one wasn't picked off and run in. Behind the end zone was Herbert James, number 26.
I think Herbert James just got a little confused as to if his teammate was going to hit him. Who was going to take the ball and go the distance?
Right now, Craig, it looks like San Diego State has no deep threat. You'd expect them to have 2 coming in with Scott and Rowe, but Rowe has shown signs of being hobbled by that ankle injury, and Darnay Scott has not returned since the shoulder injury on the kickoff in the first quarter. Longest pass that was completed by Lowry, 20 yards. Pittman struggled for a couple out to the 49. Rusty Medeiros made the stop. Coming up tomorrow morning, if you're an early riser, 7 a.m. Eastern time, you'll want to tune into ESPN for the Davis Cup Finals. France leads 2 matches to 1. Andre Agassi needs to beat Henri Lecomte in the first match tomorrow morning to keep the American hopes alive. The second match will feature Pete Sampras and Guy Forget. We're told the information on the screen was inaccurate. It's actually 7:30 a.m. tomorrow morning, Eastern time, the Davis Cup Finals from France. Penalty prior to the snap. The Aztecs were looking at 3rd and 7.
Dead ball, offside, on the defense, yard.
They are now looking at 3rd and 2.
When you look at it being 3rd and 7, they run the football on 2nd down, pick up 3 yards. Go ahead and do that on 1st down so that it's 2nd down and 7. You've been successful running the ball. You control the clock. You keep it away from Gino Torretta.
Pittman, the back behind Lowry on 3rd down and 2. They give it to Wayne Pittman. And he's down short of the 1st down. He was tripped up by Eric Miller. He's less than a yard short of the 1st down. Now Luganville has already gone for it once on 4th down, and it appears he will do that again.
When you run the trap back to the left side, you'll see that the penetration, the one man that can beat you is backside to the right side of your screen. As this right guard 66 pulls, if somebody comes in from behind, of course this happened on the play side. Usually the backside man that can get into the play is the one that disrupts the counter trap.
4th and less than a yard. Lowry appeared to pick it up. He did. Needed to reach the 44. They'll spot him down near the 43. 1st and 10 for San Diego State, as we're down to 3:45 left in the 1st half.
What's it called, Sean? That they put on Al Luganville in San Diego, the
pedometer.
Pedometer. Thank you very much.
They keep track of the mileage that he walks along the sideline. The average game is up around 3 miles. I think in that 52 game 2 weeks ago at BYU, it was a mini marathon. Lowry. Way overthrown. The good news is that Darnay Scott, if you're an Aztec fan, is back into the game. He was the intended receiver. His progress upfield was slowed by Ryan McNeil.
As Darnay Scott comes off the ball, number 6, you've got a 5-yard cushion level that you can be bumped in. He's at about 7 or 8 when Ryan McNeil, 47, holds him up. You got to let that wide receiver go, and if you're the wide receiver, you've got to make sure that you avoid the cornerback that's going to release you back to that deep second half.
2nd and 10. 17-0 Miami with 3:16 to play in the 1st half. 4-man rush, and Lowry is incomplete. Looking for the tight end Ray Rowe again. The coverage by Michael Barrow.
Intended for Ray Rowe. 3rd down, 10.
State coaches feel that Ray Rowe will have a chance at playing on Sundays. Very much improved from the beginning of this season.
He's been a starter since his sophomore year. An excellent blocker, and he's become a better receiver in his senior season. Marshall Falk back into the game now for the Aztecs on 3rd and 10. He shifts out of the backfield in motion. Lowry sacked. Flag thrown in. Anthony Hamlet took him down, but the flag was thrown right where Lowry was tackled.
Tackled by Hamlet.
Face mask on the defense.
Anthony Hamlet, number 97, as he gets up to the field, you'll see him there on the left, well, in the middle of your screen, fights off the man, comes in, he's got the face mask. That brings David Lowry down.
Sal Arzillo.
Hamlet's a busy guy on the Miami campus.
On the defense, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
He's enrolled in the communications program with a double major in advertising and criminal justice and a minor in marketing.
Wow. It was hard for me to concentrate on one.
3rd down and 5 now from the 39 of Miami. Again, a vacant backfield. And Lowry throws, caught. And very close to a 1st down is Merton Harris. Tackled immediately by Herbert James. They'll spot him down at the 33. Good for a San Diego State 1st down.
Herbert James on the coverage.
Merton Harris is the talented wide receiver that has split time with Darnay Scott. As Darnay Scott has improved, the balls have gone to him. But this is a good, timing step. 5 drop, come back, throw the slant pattern. If you're number 83, you need to move across. Get Jesse Armstead out of the middle.
That's the first catch of the night for Merton Harris. Back to the draw with Paul. And he's inside the 25. About a yard and a half short of a first down. Darren Smith made the tackle. Down to 2:23, and the clock is running in the first half.
If you're an offensive lineman for San Diego State, you got to worry about getting run over by Marshall Faulk. Hey, you know you've got to keep your feet moving, get out of the way, because he's going to find daylight. He's going to reach the linebacker level more times than he doesn't.
His running style would lead you to believe that he is bigger than he is. He's 5'10", 180 pounds. He is a powerful runner on top of all that speed. Lowry going to the end zone, incomplete. Breaking free was Darnay Scott, but the pass was well off the mark.
Lowry's pass.
Let's check in with Dr. Jerry Funch.
Thank you very much, Sean. I'm with Pete Weil, who's an orthopedic surgeon at San Diego State. And Pete, we saw Darnay come back in the ballgame. What's the status?
Darnay basically aggravated a previous first-degree sprain of his left AC joint. He was a little tender for a couple minutes, and we iced it and rested it. And he had pretty good range of motion, and he said it felt well enough to go back in the game. So he's playing right now, and it seems like he's doing fine.
Good news for the Aztec faithful. Back upstairs.
Scott on the sideline at the moment on 3rd down and 2. Marshall falls. Stopped short of the first down. Michael Barrow.
Tackled by Michael Barrow.
And now a decision for Al Luganville. A moderately long field goal into a pretty good breeze of about 42 yards, and a field goal down 17-0 isn't going to do him much good.
Pretty
He's
stiff.
going to go for it on 4th and 2.
It is a very stiff win. You need the 7 points. And once again, I go back to it. Marshall Faulk, if you've got him in the backfield, I like my chances of getting a couple of yards.
9th play of the drive. Lowry throws, caught for a first down. Merton Harris with one man to beat. Merton Harris with a touchdown.
Lowry's pass complete to Merton Harris for the 24-yard Aztec touchdown.
Let's keep it going, baby. Come on.
On 4th and 2, a 24-yard touchdown. Lowry to Merton Harris. 3rd touchdown of his senior year for Harris, and now Andy Trackis will try to add the extra point. He has made 28 in a row. He has made 29 in a row.
Pitches up and good. His time out on the field to score. The Hurricanes 17.
That's only the 3rd first-half touchdown versus Miami this season. Merton Harris will be over to the right side. He will step. Lowry steps back into the pocket. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plant your foot. Boom. Throws the rocket on the slant. And then this is individual effort. Charles Farms, number 2, cannot make the play on him. Merton Harris Supermans it into the end zone. little pepper in the step.
David Lowry celebrating his first touchdown pass of the night at 19th of the season. And we have a football game again, folks, with less than a minute to play in the first half. It's a 10-point lead for Miami. And this raucous Orange Bowl crowd is suddenly very silent.
Miami coaches know very well that this is a WAC conference team that they're playing, a team that's used to scoring 30, 40 points a game. We've seen them score 52. They know how to find the end zone. As they gain their composure, settle down, and Lowry realized that he can make that 5-step drop and make the dart throw and not worry about getting hit, then they'll improve their chances of staying in this game.
Al Luganville felt that there were only 4 teams on Miami's schedule that match up with the Hurricanes athletically. Those 4 teams being Tulsa, Penn State, Florida State, and San Diego State. You wouldn't know it by the point spread in the newspaper today. 27-point favorites for the Hurricanes. And the Aztecs felt that wasn't much of a show of respect for them with their 8-2-1 record. Trackis with a short kickoff taken by Darrell Spencer. Ran into one of his own men, and it turned out to be a break as he turned back to an open sideline. and went out of bounds at the 43-yard line.
13 plays, 64 yards, aided by a couple of penalties, the face mask call on David Lowry, and it took a lot of time on the clock. Combination run and pass.
And it got some rest for a defense that needed it. Still 49 seconds in great field position for Miami. They have all 3 timeouts remaining. On their own 43. Toretta going deep for Copeland. Batted away. What a play by Damian Pierre.
Toretta's pass.
As that ball was in the air, it looked like another touchdown to Toretta to Copeland, but Pierre closed the ground and was able to bat it away with his left hand.
Pierre at free safety has got to come back over, and he does. Pierre's missed a couple of days because of the flu, and he just gets his left hand on this ball, and he saves obviously 6 points.
Pierre, as we mentioned at the outset, led all defensive players in the Western Athletic Conference in tackles with 141. Selected first-team all-WAC defensive back. Under the blitz, it's caught. Looked like the ball was intended for Williams. It sailed over his head, and Bobby Bird, the senior from St. Petersburg, made the catch for a first down at the 43-yard line of San Diego State to pick up a 14. And a quick timeout called by Gino Toretta with 33 seconds left in the half.
And the Hurricanes call timeout.
The Hurricanes lead 17-7. We're back in a moment.
San Diego State is coming with the blitz. Now, they're going to keep doing this. They have got to get to the quarterback. They are just off on this one. Toretta's got the strong arm and makes the completion. Of course, we remember back. Of course, Copeland caught a big touchdown pass, and that was with 8 men in coverage.
First and 10. Miami at the San Diego State 42 with 33 seconds remaining and 2 timeouts. And they lob it up for Williams. Touchdown.
The completion is good for 42 yards.
A 42-yard touchdown pass. Toretta to Williams.
Kept the extra point.
Carlos Huerta trying to push the lead back to 17. And he does. With 25 seconds left of the half.
There's timeout on the field.
Gino Toretta just gets in the pocket, a lot of composure. The blitz is coming. He's got confidence in what's going to happen up front for him. And then up top, number 5, Kevin Williams. John Lewis, number 2. You've got to get up there and bone him at that 5-yard level. You just can't allow a man that runs a 4.28 40-yard dash to take off free and clear and get to the end zone.
And I think the point you just made was an excellent one. How much longer can you continue to blitz if you're San Diego State if you never have it pay off for you?
Lee Corso today, earlier in game day, for us, he said, look, San Diego State needs to drop back into coverage, put 8 people back, and be preventative. Don't allow the big bomb play. And I think Coach Corso might have hit the nail on the head when he said that.
They've given up 2 home run balls in this half. And the number 1 Hurricanes rocking and rolling with a 17-point lead. If you're a Washington Husky fan, a Florida Gator fan, you're just hoping San Diego State will stay close. You don't need them to win it, particularly if you're the Huskies, because there are a lot of people around the country who think if this game is close, Washington goes by Miami in the next poll.
They're 3 first-place votes away from it right now in the coaches' poll. And Dennis Erickson, he told us yesterday, hey, look, I'm all for, in this situation, a national title game if it's Washington and Miami. He's not necessarily for a playoff system, though.
Raiders line drive kick went past Keith Williams and through the end zone. The Aztecs will get it at their 20 with 25 seconds left. They have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. And in 25 seconds, we'll send you back to our ESPN studios for the halftime report with Tim Brando and Lee Corso. And I would say that Coach Corso's analysis was right on the money. That opening drive when Miami went right down the field and San Diego State played defense a bit more passively, they were able to hold them to a field goal. Since they've gone to the all-out attack, they've been giving up the home run ball, and they nearly had another one were it not for that play by Pierre to bat it away from Copeland. Lowry throws for Merton Harris, and that's intercepted. Ryan McNeil picked it off at the 46-yard line of Miami.
Picked off by number 37, Ryan McNeil.
3 interceptions thrown by David Lowry. And for McNeil, that's his team-leading 5th of the year.
Both of these guys, Merton Harris and David Lowry, they're hearing from Dave Lay right now. Look, that was cover 2. That free safety is going to come over. We don't have enough cushion there to make that play.
Will the Hurricanes go for the jugular with 19 seconds and 2 timeouts? Yes, they will. Kevin Williams, the intended receiver, incomplete. That time Taylor had the coverage. Kind of a no-win situation for Miami here tonight in that we mentioned the point spread. That would seem to indicate that at least the people who deal with that don't have much respect for San Diego State, a 27-point underdog. So if Miami wins, they were supposed to. If they beat them by a wide margin, well, they were expected to. And if they run it up, then they get accused of running it up for the sake of their ranking. And if they don't do those things, well, then they didn't do a good enough job against this team. I don't think San Diego State gets enough credit. Beretta throws incomplete. Looking at Lamar Thomas.
Pass.
Been only one team in college football history that has finished in the top 3 in the polls 5 years in a row, and that team is the Miami Hurricanes the last 5 seasons. Dennis Erickson led them to the national championship in his first year, 1989. They finished 3rd last year. He said he had no particular feeling about playing Nebraska now that that has been determined as Miami's opponent in the Orange Bowl. He said these just happen to be there. It doesn't matter who they play. Really predictable comment from a coach in that situation. Beretta again going deep, and it is caught at the 1-yard line on the final play of the half. Chris Jones caught it. He thought it was a touchdown, but the officials spot him down inside the 1. And it goes as a half-ending 53-yard gain.
The old Hail Mary play, more or less. Just a great job of positioning himself. Jones gave him the opportunity. His seat hit right there on the 1-yard line. Good call. Excellent by the official.
And the long half continued for John Lewis, who was the victim of that reception. We invite you to stay tuned for the halftime report. Coming up with Tim Brando and Lee Corso at the half here at the Orange Bowl. It's the top-ranked Miami Hurricanes 24 and the San Diego State Aztecs 7. Due to the long ball.
Well, the long ball was given the opportunity because of the blitz that San Diego State came with. They were not doing anything in the secondary. San Diego State has got to get a little preventative maybe in their measures. Something's got to change up in order to stop that long ball from Miami.
They had a 66-yard touchdown pass to Horace Copeland on a 3rd down and 35, and then a 42-yarder to the speedy Kevin Williams.
Williams just runs past the defensive back. They've got to get up. They've got to bump. They've got to disrupt the pass pattern. They've got to get into the backfield if they blitz. If they don't do that, there'll be 27 more points scored here in the second half.
Toretta threw for 256 yards in the first half. This is the final play of the first half. 53 more yards for Gino, but not his 4th touchdown pass of the half.
His seat comes down and hits on the 1-yard line. His elbow does. The ball never crosses the plane. That was a good call by the official. He did not score the touchdown.
That was to Chris Jones. Down to the sidelines, Jerry Punch.
Thank you very much, Sean. We're with Coach Luganville. And, Coach, you guys have played hard in the first half but got beaten on some deep balls.
Well, we voided a coverage. I mean, we're in zone, and we void the zone, and they throw the ball there. It's going to be a little tough to compete when you do that. It's a freshman corner, and first time here, he just voided. That's all I can say. Second time, they made a great throw. Kid outran us. You know,
When you say with the blitz, Coach, you've come after him a couple of times.
We've come after him, but not as a predominant part of the game. We've been able to get enough pressure on him to play. What's happened is that we've turned over the ball. We haven't consistently moved the ball enough to stay in it. We've got to move the football, make first downs, score, and then obviously not give up the big play on defense. It's not lack of effort.
Thanks, Coach. Back upstairs to Sean.
Thank you, Jerry. Carlos Huerta will kick off as the second half is about to begin. Miami leading 24-7. Darnay Scott is not back deep this time. It's Keith Williams who runs it out of the end zone. Bad decision. He's down at the 12. Flag thrown at the 14-yard line.
Tackle made by C.J. Richardson and Dexter Siegler.
Penalty's a big part of the first half.
There's clipping on the
And a clipping penalty on the opening kickoff of the second half. Here's a look at the first half statistics. We mentioned the 256 yards for Torretta, but time of possession, surprisingly, comfortably in favor of the Aztecs.
In the second quarter, the Aztecs had the ball 10 minutes and 15 seconds compared to Miami's 4:45, and it was a 14-7 ball game in the second quarter. Torretta, though, had 220 yards passing.
Lowry has not completed a pass on first down tonight. From their own 7. They fake the handoff to Marshall Falk. Here's the tight end, Ray Rowe. First completion on first down tonight for San Diego State. It's good for a first down. Out to the 21-yard line, Hurley Brown. Rock Rowe out of bounds.
Quarterback waggled over to the other side, to the tight side of the field. Ray Rowe drags from back to the left, comes across to the right. Very conservative play, but effective. That's the kind of things they need to do.
And as Al Luganville said, the key, you can't turn it over if you're the Aztecs. Lowry threw 3 interceptions in the first half. Back to Marshall Falk. He's out to the 26, a gain of 5, and Falk now up to 78 yards for the game, closing in on the 116 yards that he needs to lead the nation in rushing this year.
Tackle by Medeiros.
San Diego State doing what of course, I'm not a head coach, but this is certainly the kind of game plan I would have come back with, something that's conservative underneath. Give the ball to Marshall Falk on first down. Let him pick up his yards.
Second and 5. Falk close to a first down as he crossed the 30. Rusty Medeiros with the tackle for the second straight play.
On the tackle. 3rd and 1.
And the officials will stop the clock to measure.
For a measurement.
Do it all day long. You control the clock. You keep them off the field. Their offense can't score the big bomb if they don't have the ball in their hands. Marshall Falk will eventually bust the big play.
He's short by just a couple of inches.
Third down.
On their other 4th and inches, 3rd and inch, they've gone with the quarterback wedge just up the middle. Quarterback sneak. Maybe give it a new wrinkle. Well, I don't know. Why change something, right?
That's right.
That big 295-pound line up there.
As Al Luganville said, they need to keep the ball, move the chains, and score. Their best bet for first downs in this situation has been Lowry keeping it. There he goes again. And he appears to have the first down. Needed just a couple of inches. And he got it. 24-7 Miami. We've played 1 minute and 7 seconds of the second half.
Yeah, on a play like that, I'd jump right over behind number 71, Carson Leomidi, and I'd let that 360 work for me. That's like having 3 bodyguards all in one.
Lowry is a battler. As a matter of fact, too much of a battler. Just before spring practice, he broke his jaw in a fraternity brawl just before the start of spring practice, and that was one of the reasons why Cree Morris was the starting quarterback for San Diego State at the start of this year. Good catch. Ray Rowe, the tight end, out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Short of a first down by a couple. It's the 4th catch of the night for Ray Rowe for 40 yards. Hurley Brown pushed him out.
7 yards, 2nd and 3.
They take Marshall Faulk out of the backfield. They run him in motion, then up the field. Everybody's got to respect Marshall Faulk's big play capabilities. He's got the 10-3, 10-400 meter speed. He burned Brigham Young 2 weeks ago with a long 80-yard touchdown reception. They drag underneath with tight end Ray Rowe and make completion.
3 receivers to the left. Faulk, the lone running back on second and a short 3. Faulk, first down, out to the 43-yard line. Darren Smith, the tackler.
First down, Aztec.
87 yards now for Marshall Faulk.
And they've come out, they've established control of the ball here in the second half. Miami's motivation, and we've talked about it all night, is really to whip San Diego State. You know, if they don't do it, they probably lose the #1 ranking in the country.
Nearly 2 minutes played, third quarter. 24-7 Miami. Lowry throws. Good catch.
Lowry's
very little gain, but still a fine play by Ray Rowe. They take it off the top of the grass. Darren Smith credited with the tackle. Gain of 1. 2nd and 9 upcoming.
That's the play they began the second half with, the waggle over to this side of the field. Now, instead of going underneath to the tight end because they're on to that play, you maybe look to the next level and then the third level deep down the field.
Hurricanes coming to blitz, and Lowry sacked back at the 39-yard line. Jesse Armstead and Anthony Hamlet took Lowry down for a loss of 5.
San Diego State had called the quarterback draw. They had taken Faulk out of the backfield, tried to spread everybody out, hoping that if they could get through that interior rush that he'd had a big play. Faulk will come back 1-2, and then he wants to take off and get inside the little trap block by number 66, Joe Hines. And had he done that, obviously he's in the secondary.
Third down, 14. The Aztecs from their own 39. 4-man rush. Lowry too far for Merton Harris. He nearly caught it on the bench. And the Aztecs picked up a couple of first downs, but they'll have to punt. Kevin Williams was 4th in the nation in punt returns coming into tonight's action. 3 returns for touchdown and another 42-yarder. One called back. He was tackled at 1. The 82-yard return was officially a fumble return, not a punt return tonight. Several missed tackles. And Williams finally belted out of bounds at the 38. A 39-yard punt at a 16-yard return. Tempers flare. These two teams brawled last year. And it wasn't just pushing and shoving. They really got after each other at Jack Murphy Stadium. Both teams played down that angle during the week. The tempers flare here, and as they cool off, we'll take a break. Back in a moment. 1 year ago today, and Al Luganville tried to pull off the greatest upset of his career against the Miami Hurricanes. Late in the game, quarterback Dan McGuire is trying for a 2-point conversion. And even with #1 draft pick Russell Maryland all over him, he completed the pass to pull the Aztecs within 2. After the play, a bench-clearing brawl erupted. But the Hurricanes eventually held on to win 30-28. San Diego State is still looking for its first ever win against the top 10 opponent.
Drinking water, the University of Miami Hurricane.
Al Luganville, the 1991 WAC Coach of the Year. They won't be far from it. One of these days, they'll beat a top 10 team.
Martin Patton out to the 49-yard line, tackled by Andy Coviello. Very close to a first down. He's a yard short.
Stopped by Coviello.
Power football with Miami up 24-7. They can grind at you. They can draw that defense in, and then all of a sudden they go up top deep with a bomb.
7 carries, 24 yards for Patton. They stick with Patton. He picks up the first down. Down to the 47, San Diego State. Andy Coviello, again credited with the tackle.
Stopped by Luke Foster. The run is good.
To this point, San Diego State has not changed anything on their defense. They still have the 4-man front. They brought 5 on one play, 6 on another play.
Larry Jones has replaced Patton in the backfield. Torretta looked at Jones, throws to Thomas. He caught it, then dropped it. And he's out of bounds after a very short gain. Gary Taylor pushed him out.
Torretta throws complete.
Gino Torretta has distributed the ball pretty well. He's had a touchdown either side here. As you can see, underneath in the curl pattern, he's 3 of 7, 2 for 4 on the flat. The 1 for 5 at the top of your screen for the touchdown. That was the big play to Copeland, which was a blown assignment in the secondary. But a good distribution. They've thrown underneath and they've thrown deep as well.
They almost had one at the deep middle, but Vieri knocked it away from Copeland, who was open. It couldn't be another touchdown. Under pressure, Torretta throws, incomplete. Copeland made the catch, but he was out of bounds. Coverage again from Gary Taylor. And it's 3rd down and almost 10 for a Miami first down. The Hurricanes lead 24-7 with 10:14 to play.
They had 7 or 8, the Aztecs, that time coming. Only 3 in the secondary covering, man-to-man. Fortunate that they got to Torretta just enough to disrupt the pass play.
Here comes the blitz. Torretta throws, caught. What a catch by Spencer. He's going to be short of a first down. He made a one-handed grab at the 38-yard line. About a yard and a half short of a first down.
Completion is 8 yards. 4th down to 12.
Miami got away with a hole that time. Number 15, Chris Johnson. You'll see from the right side of your screen, number 15, and he goes. He runs past the man. Coleman Bell, number 17, the tight end, held him, or it would have been a sack. And a great one-handed catch.
They're going for it on 4th and a yard and a half. Patton stopped for a loss. Chris Johnson, the safety, drops the play for a loss of 1, and the Aztecs take over on downs.
By Chris Johnson.
Johnson, one of 4 starters on defense who came to San Diego State as a walk-on.
And he's improved each week. He's gotten a lot better, a little aggression. Once he gets into the backfield, then he got flat down the line of scrimmage, or he would have run past Martin Patton.
The Hurricanes and SDS systems are a winning combination.
ESPN's presentation of CFA primetime football, San Diego State versus Miami, is brought to you by your Toyota dealer and their quality line of 1992 cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. And by Minolta Freedom cameras. When you can't get to the picture, Minolta Freedom Zoom 90 brings the picture to you.
Marshall Falk is the ball
And
carrier.
Marshall Falk brings the football out to the 48-yard line, a yard short of a first down. 96 yards now for Marshall. He's 20 yards away from becoming the first freshman to ever lead the nation in rushing. He'd also be the first Aztec to ever lead the nation in rushing. Second and a long one. 24-7 Miami. 9:22 to play in the 3rd quarter. And Falk picks up the first down into Miami territory at the 48. Of course, Marshall put himself on the college football map, if you will, back on September 14th at Jack Murphy Stadium when against Pacific. He rushed for 386 yards, a single-game NCAA record, on 37 carries. The record didn't last long, as last Saturday, Tony Sands of Kansas carried for 396 yards, bettering Falk's mark by 10, although it took 21 more carries for Sands for Kansas against Missouri. He carried 58 times. Falk replaced by Wayne Pittman. Through a big hole is Pittman. First down, Aztecs. Down to the 35-yard line. That's a gain of 13. Williams and Brown combining on the tackle for Miami.
Had San Diego State been running the OT counter or a trap block, they would have gotten nailed here. The blitz comes from Miami. It's a quick hitting play. Joe Hines, 66, nice block down on the nose tackle. And then excellent running by Wayne Pittman. The beauty of having two good running backs on this ball club.
96 yards for Falk and now 34 yards for Pittman out of the one-back offense. Falk watches his fellow true freshman Pittman continue on. And he gets the call. Off left tackle. Pittman down to the 33, a gain of 2. Michael Barrow, the tackler. And here's Jerry Punch.
Fellows, back on October 4th, Marshall Falk broke 2 ribs on his left side, and those broken ribs collapsed his left lung. He spent 4 days in the hospital. Now, he only missed 3 ball games. Why? Because the folks at Douglas Pads in Houston, Texas made a very special rib protector. There are only 2 alike it. One he is wearing tonight, and this is what I'm showing you here. That's why a young man may have a shot at a national rushing championship. Back up there.
Lowry throws, caught. Will Tate took a hit immediately from Herbert James. Tate down a couple of yards short of a first down.
Dr. Punch, how surprised were you to see a guy come back after having a punctured lung that quick?
Well, what happens is the ribs break and they actually puncture a segment of the lung and the lung collapses. They put him in the hospital, make a surgical incision, and actually insert a tube in his lung to reinflate it. Once it's reinflated, there really isn't that much of a problem. You just let the ribs heal and protect the ribs. The lung is fine, the breathing is fine. The primary important thing is to protect those ribs. Back up there.
Big play here for the Aztecs on 3rd and 2. Strange play, no flags, and finally one is thrown by the official along the near sideline. Lowry going on the keeper when they needed 2 yards. There was movement and contact before the snap.
I think he realized he had a free play there that Miami had jumped off, and he got the snap going. He's going to try to get the first down on his own.
Offside on the defense.
We hear that report from Dr. Punch, and it's amazing that Marshall Falk, as successful as he is, he's not 100% healthy. Can you imagine what he would be doing on this field and in this season if he was at his top?
The question I would have asked Jerry Punch is, was he a shareholder in the Douglas Equipment Company of Houston, Texas? I'm sure they appreciate the nice plug.
If they send him a dinner, we get to go with the Punch Doctor.
1st and 10 from the 22. The Aztecs trail by 17. Armstead upended as he came on the blitz. And Lowry throws too long. Down the middle, intended for Will Tate. Armstead coming on the blitz. Went head over heels as he was blocked just in front of Lowry.
Now, this is what I'd say, emptying your bucket, leaving nothing at home. Jesse Armstead out of Dallas Carter High School. That's what makes him a great player. He's a quiet guy, but I mean, on the football field, that kind of intensity will take you a long ways.
Marshall Falk back into the game. 3 receivers to the right of Lowry on 2nd and 10. 7 minutes to play, 3rd quarter. Falk pursued from behind, and a fine play by Darren Crine, playing with an injured knee. He was still able to catch up to Falk from behind and drop him for a loss.
You mentioned it there, coming from behind. That's the play that I tried to mention earlier. The backside man in the counter is the man that can disrupt the play. 91 from behind. As soon as he reads the guard and tackle pulling, he's out there. If you're the running back, you're seeing green daylight, and all of a sudden you feel the big man pull you down from behind.
3rd and 10 and a half. Armstead again on the blitz. Lowry throws, caught for a first down at the 3-yard line. Merton Harris with the reception. A gain of 18.
You can evaluate a quarterback's arm when he throws from one hash all the way over to throwing the out pattern, the deep out pattern. Sets, lets it go, and I mean, this is a strong, strong pass with great precision. Ooh, 1 foot down. That ball.
Well, you only need 1 foot, but he appeared to be juggling the football as he went over the sideline.
Exactly.
In the NFL, that play would be reviewed and probably overturned. It's 1st and goal from the 3. Larry Maxey comes in motion out of the backfield. Lowry under pressure. Throws to the end zone, incomplete. Looking for Ray Rowe. And it just missed. Coverage from Sean Thompson.
You gotta have a break go your way every once in a while. And does he have control of the football when that one leg comes down in bounds? That's the question. Yeah, you got it.
He did.
Yep.
Upon further review, the play stands. 2nd and goal from the 3. Lowry again throws. Now, Craig, the question I would have here is you're on the 3-yard line. 1st and goal. You basically have 4 shots at it. You have the nation's leading rusher in waiting in Marshall Faulk. Why are you throwing the ball twice?
Going into the game, Dave Lay, the offensive coordinator there, was very concerned about the strength of Miami inside the 10-yard line. Not many folks were able to get in and score touchdowns. And he told us, hey, Craig, we have got to go in and throw the football once we get inside the 10-yard line.
There's a good answer to that question. Only 2 rushing touchdowns allowed this season. 3rd and goal. 24-7 Miami. Lowry. No chance for Harris. He was well covered by James. And the field goal team is going to come on. So a nice drive. But David Lowry and company will trot off with a bit of an empty feeling that they weren't able to punch it in when they had 1st and goal from the 3.
Right there. Those other ball clubs that only had 2 rushing touchdowns did not have Marshall.
Now, I don't care if they've only given up 2 rushing touchdowns this year. When you have Marshall Faulk in the backfield, I'd take my chances 4 times with him if I had to get 3 yards. Now Andy Trackis to try a 22-yard field goal. And it's good. A nice drive by the Aztecs results in a field goal by Trackis. It's a 2-touchdown game with 5:56 to play in the 3rd quarter. In a month, the Orange Bowl will be played here in Miami. The Hurricanes will be taking on Nebraska. Wrapped it up yesterday with their win over Oklahoma in Lincoln.
They were throwing cold oranges in Lincoln, though, wasn't it?
Cold and wet oranges.
Oh.
Trackis teeing it up. His field goal has made this a 14-point game with all kinds of time left. 5:56 remaining in the 3rd quarter. He's kicking into a breeze, and as a result, Spencer and Williams are standing at the 15-yard line. And that's a good kick. Drives Williams back to the 8-yard line. And a good tackle as Williams was stopped at the 19 mark. Roberts tripped him up. Roberts, a redshirt freshman from Bakersfield. Defensive coordinator Barry Lamb told us he doesn't even shave yet.
Hey, there are a lot of guys on this team that don't shave yet. They will have a good team. 64 of 84 are freshmen and sophomore on this roster.
I think that's the thing people forget about Miami as well. Of the 22 starters tonight, only 7 of them are seniors for the Hurricanes. This is a young Miami team. First and 10 from the 20. Here comes the blitz, and they get him this time. Andy Coviello and Chris Johnson. Back at the 15-yard line for a loss of 5.
5-yard loss.
3 consecutive plays that Chris Johnson, the strong safety, has blitzed and been in the backfield and made a play. Somebody better find out, if you're a Miami Hurricane, how to stop Chris Johnson and Andy Coviello.
Did that score pain you?
Oh,
your alma mater was ahead for so much of that game
I was
today.
sick. If SMU had won, Timmy Brando, you were going to have to do something for the Mustangs.
They'd be rocketing up the pole if they had a win in that one. Second and 15. Here comes Johnson again. And Toretta's down at the 8-yard line. Johnson pressured him, but it was Coviello who came into the game with 11 sacks. He's been involved in both of these. The senior from Fair Oaks, California, second team all-WAC linebacker this year.
Chris Johnson again from the right side, and he was held. They've got to call that now on that tight end 17. You couldn't see it in your screen. And then Coviello, relentless pursuit. You've got to get after it. You talk about the sacks there. San Diego State 2 tonight. They had 20 all last season, and their goal was to improve on that this season. That makes it 42 for the year.
Barry Lamb says Coviello leads the team in sacks because he plays the game harder than anyone else. Now on 3rd and 21. They converted to 3rd and 35 for a touchdown. That one just missed. The fingertips of Lamar Thomas. Taylor and Pieri were in the neighborhood. So the momentum has shifted to the far sideline occupied by San Diego State.
Gino Torretta is very fortunate, as well as the Hurricanes, that he did not fumble on one of those 2 sacks. Talking about a momentum swing.
Paul Snyder on to punt, standing in the middle of his own end zone. He does have the breeze at his back. Didn't get it high enough to take advantage of the breeze. T.C. Wright from the 46. Flag screaming for a clip. Early Brown thought he was clipped by Chris Johnson. There is no flag, and the Aztecs have it in excellent field position at the 45-yard line of Miami. The Aztecs with the ball, trailing by 14. Sean McDonough with Frank James and Dr. Jerry Punch at the Orange Bowl in Miami. The #1 Hurricanes lead by 14. The Aztecs with the ball. 1st and 10 at the Miami 44. Marshall Faulk thrown down by Anthony Hamlet for a loss of 4. Here's Jerry.
Well, gentlemen, one interested spectator just arrived a little while ago from Lincoln, Nebraska. That's Dan Young, the offensive line coach of the Nebraska Cornhuskers. First of all, Dan, congratulations on a great come-from-behind win yesterday against Oklahoma. Now, what have you seen in this Miami team you think that you guys may be able to work on?
Well, I think we can run the ball on them. We had a good offensive line, some good running backs, and if we can run on them, then we can throw on them too. So we're going to work on that end of things.
They have a lot of weapons. They have a lot of weapons offensively.
They do. They have great core receivers, and you just hold your breath every time the ball is snapped.
You've got to hold your breath a little bit knowing you're coming to play here where their win streak right now stands at 43 and maybe 44 after tonight.
Well, somebody's got to break it, and we're going to give it all we got, I'll tell you that much.
Dan Young, the Nebraska Cornhuskers offensive line coach here, watching the Hurricanes. His Cornhuskers will face them here on New Year's night. Back upstairs.
Thank you, Jerry. Congratulations to Tom Osborne and the Nebraska Cornhuskers, the champions of the Big 8. Lowry now 13 for 34. He's missed on his last 4 pass attempts. This is 3rd and 13, and he's going deep for Patrick Rowe. But several times tonight, David Lowry has thrown the ball a lot closer to the stands than he has to the field of play. Rowe noticeably limping. That was not a good offensive series with the momentum for the Aztecs.
When you get field position like that, you got to take advantage of it. You can't frustrate your defense by sending them back on the field after 3 plays. What they've got to do now is go back to the quarterback bootleg, fake that counter trap to the other side, and then that man, that defensive end that's been in the play disrupting the counter trap, take advantage of him being over there.
Jason Savorn. He was hit, and they throw the flag. The ball rolls dead inside the 10. Hurley Brown and Paul White both came in on Savorn, and Joe Ryder threw the flag.
Running into the kicker on the defense, 5 yards, fourth down.
Now, wouldn't the Aztecs be better off to take the ball down to the 9 and let Miami have it there?
Yes. He does roll up into him. Hurley Brown. Paul White did not hit him, but number 8 does.
Al Luganville wants to decline the penalty.
The 5 yards does not give them a first down. And they have got excellent field position, or they forced Miami back from around the 9-yard line.
Running into the kicker, decline, first down.
So the ball goes to the 9-yard line. Luganville hoped his defense could have the kind of series they had the last time out.
When you reflect back at the beginning of the second half, the opening series, San Diego State moved up to around the 45-yard line. They had first down and 10. They tried to throw the ball 3 times, and they had to punt. The next series, they go down and have a nice, successful drive, and they were running and passing the ball. They've got to mix it and mix it well.
.307 to play in the third quarter. It's 24-10 Miami. It is 24-7 Hurricanes at the half. Jason Marucci, sophomore from Youngstown, Ohio, out of Boardman High School. Same high school that sent Bernie Kosar to Miami. Jason carried out to the 13-yard line. The game 3.
Hey, if she gets hurt, we'll have to send the punch doctor over to find out about the cheerleader's injury.
I have a feeling Jerry's in that neighborhood anyway. Miami has relied on the passing game primarily. That's the biggest reason why they've only rushed for 76 yards. Beretta hits Copeland. He shakes and bakes his way out to the 29-yard line with a first down. And Horace has been consistent in celebrating after every play.
Well, he plays like number 88, Michael Irvin of the Dallas Cowboys in this ball game.
That's a gain of 17 on the pass from Torretta to Copeland. Bob Bratkowski, the offensive coordinator, told us that Copeland really had a tough week last week at Boston College. He was looking for a bounce-back effort from him tonight. He has responded with 5 catches for 111 yards and a touchdown. Here comes Spencer. This time they were waiting for him. George Glaze, the nose man, number 91, the sophomore from San Fernando, made the stop.
The game is 2.
The ACC Big East Challenge begins with a doubleheader on Monday from the Hartford Civic Center. The home court of the Yukon Huskies. They'll play Wake Forest in the first game at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Then at 9:30 Eastern live, it's North Carolina State against Pitt. The ACC Big East Challenge continues with doubleheaders on Tuesday from Atlanta, Wednesday from East Rutherford, and on Thursday from Greensboro. So great action. It has become a nice tradition, the ACC Big East Challenge. Second and 8. They fake to Spencer. Beretta has a man wide open. Patton, first down and more. Runs away from Pieri. Runs toward the end zone. One man to beat, forget it. Touchdown. .69 yards.
Incompletion from Torretta to Patton is good for 69 yards. Horrible hold.
Carlos Huerta trying to push the lead to 21. And he does. It is the largest lead of the night for the Miami Hurricanes.
We mentioned Miami has been a hot, cold team. They'll fake the reverse. You'll get a lot of overflow. 39 in the middle of your screen. He tries to get over to see Martin Patton, but there's just too much room and ground to cover. Patton cuts back. Pieri overruns it. And this is one of the dimensions that Martin Patton brings to this team versus a Stephen McGuire. The ability to catch the ball and go 69 yards for a touchdown.
Bob Bratkowski says that Patton is the fastest running back on the Miami team, and that is the longest pass reception of his career. Gino Torretta watches for a while the end result of his 4th touchdown pass of the night.
Yeah, that little hand fist there was like, hey, I'll take the blow to the ribs for 69 and 7 points.
One of the other things you have to admire about Martin Patton, he was honored by the mayor of Coral Gables, Florida, George Corrigan, for his community service work. Very actively involved in the community that is the home of the University of Miami.
I think a lot of times you reflect back to a year ago at the Cotton Bowl and the kind of perception that the Miami players have, being the taunting group and things like that. But Dennis Erickson's a class act himself. These are nice guys. They're good players. They just have fun when they go on the field.
Erickson has worked hard to change the image, and he's been successful with that this year. Big hit on the return, and all kinds of flags thrown at the 25-yard line. Number 19, C.J. Richardson, a backup free safety, running down hard on the kickoff coverage.
Could be on the receiving team.
For those of you tuning in expecting to see Notre Dame and Hawaii in just a couple of minutes, it'll be a little while before we send you out to the Hawaiian Islands, as we still have 59 seconds to play in the third quarter here. But it's Notre Dame following this one, ranked number 18 and coming off 2 big losses, with one last chance to get ready for the Sugar Bowl in their matchup with Florida tonight. They take on the Rainbows, the first meeting ever between those two. And as several teams from the continental United States have found out, Aloha Stadium to be a very tough place to play. Now the crowd of 56,721 roars as Falk carries out to the 11-yard line. Here's Jerry Punch.
That touchdown a minute ago for Miami, pretty costly. Senior offensive starting center Kelvin Harris is through for the night. A strained medial collateral ligament on his left knee. They have taken the pads off. They have taped it, put some ice on it. He will play no more this evening. Back upstairs.
Harris, a senior from Fort Myers, Florida. Came to Miami as a defensive lineman and spent 2 years on the defensive line before making the transition to offensive line. 2nd and 6. Lowry under pressure, incomplete as his pass. Mark Caesar hit him as Lowry tried to deliver the ball.
And they are in the closed end of the Orange Bowl. Extremely loud, very knowledgeable fans. And when you get down there, the offense comes out of the huddle. They get loud. A lot of pressure. You'll see the crossing stunt. 76, Mark Caesar was left, and he came unblocked by himself. You got to run the draw. Something that's quick hitting, the trap.
You played in this stadium as a member of the New England Patriots. Safe to say this was one of the loudest in the National Football League?
Extremely loud. The only louder stadium I've ever been around is Florida's Gainesville Stadium.
They go to the draw play. Falk got out of the grasp of Caesar, and he picks up the first down. Out to the 20-yard line, Darren Smith made the tackle. 110 yards now for Falk on 20 carries. He is 6 yards away from becoming the first freshman ever to lead the nation in rushing. That will likely be the last play of the third quarter as the clock is running down to 6 seconds.
If there was ever any doubt about the quality running back of Marshall Falk, you can discount that right now, because this guy is outstanding, and he's doing it against one of the best teams in the country.
3 quarters in the books here at the Orange Bowl. A 21-point lead for the top-ranked Canes. Marshall Falk 6 yards away from the NCAA rushing title. He'd be the first freshman to win it. 15 minutes to play in Miami. Number 1 Hurricanes lead by 21. David Lowry dumps it off. The tight end Ray Rowe ahead for a couple of yards to the 23. Darren Smith credited with the tackle, and here's Jerry.
Gentlemen, earlier in the week, Bob Carmelowitz, who's the Miami defensive line coach, told his players, he said about Marshall Falk, he has the agility and speed of an Adrian Morrell at West Virginia. He has the elusiveness of an Amp Lee at Florida State. One of the linemen said, "What's that mean, Coach?" He said, "What it means is he's the best you have seen all year long, and unbelievably, he's just a freshman." Back upstairs.
I say Bob Carmelowitz was right.
A freshman with a cracked rib and punctured lung, not 100% healthy.
Here's Marshall, struggling for the yardage, out to the 31-yard line. And that makes him the first freshman to win the NCAA rushing title. A gain of 8 to give him 118 yards for the game. He needed 116. And congratulations to Marshall Falk. Also the first San Diego State Aztec ever to lead the nation in rushing. And it's scary to think that He has 3 years to get better.
Only 9 games he played this season.
First down, missed handoff. Lowry keeps it himself. And he's out to the 34. Turned what looked to be a broken play into a gain of 3. Damon Bethel and Jesse Armstead combined on the tackle.
Once that quarterback misses the handoff or there's a blown assignment, that's when fear takes over of your quarterback. And it's like, you know, you're taught technically to get back up in the hole and follow where it was supposed to be. But I think truthfully, you just try to find a nice soft spot to lay down.
2nd and 7. We've played just more than a minute in the 4th quarter. Miami leads 31-10. 4-man rush. Lowry with time. Nice catch again. Ray Rowe, the tight end, will mark his forward progress out to the 40 and close to a first down, but there is a flag thrown back at the line of scrimmage. Boy, Rowe's made some nice catches. Most of the balls he has caught today have not been right in the numbers. He's had to reach for them.
Motion on the offense.
That catch will come back.
Ray Rowe he's had tremendous hands. He's had those for a tight end, and maybe that's why Al Luganville says he'll play on Sundays. He's shown the wide receiver touch. A lot of finesse. 6 catches, 43 yards.
That catch negated by the penalty. Ball back to the 30-yard line. Again, for those of you tuning in, expecting to see Notre Dame and Hawaii, we'll send you out to Aloha Stadium as soon as this game is over. Steve Fiziak and Gary Danielson standing by. We saw at halftime how diligent Steve and Gary were in their preparation for that game tonight on Waikiki Beach. Nice throw and a good catch for a first down. Patrick Rowe out near midfield, out of bounds at the 47-yard line.
With 13 minutes to go in the 4th quarter, you continue to try to poke away at it. I thoroughly believe you got to stay with the running game in Marshall Faulk, because the chance of him going the distance is about as good as having it thrown and somebody catching it and going the distance.
They spotted Rowe out back at his own 45. A gain of 16 and a first down. 31-10 Miami. 13-13 to play. Again, a 4-man rush. Lowry scrambles away from it. Throws on the run. Caught. And close to a first down. Then they gang tackle Darnay Scott at the 44-yard line. It is good for another San Diego State first down after a gain of 11.
Wide receivers have a saying, know when your journey's over, baby. When they're holding that material around your shoulder pads, that means you're standing up and there's bullets coming your way. Find the turf.
Now, Craig, I remember in your career, you fought valiantly for every extra inch.
Yeah, that's why I found myself on the operating table 3 times in about a year and a half.
Aztecs on the move. They go back to Faulk. No gain.
Marshall Faulk.
Darren Crine slowed him up, and then Michael Barrow finished him off.
Tackled by Crine.
Actually a loss of about a half yard.
Now, Marshall does not gain any yards on this, but watch the first man miss, and it's on him quickly. He's in the backfield. 91 cannot wrap him up. Gang tackling is a must when you play Marshall Faulk.
Second and 11. Ball through a big hole. First down. He's down at the 28-yard line. That's a pickup of 17. Smith and Farms made the tackle.
He continues to work. He runs with his eyes. His feet follow where he's going. Sets up his block. 66, Joe Hines kicks out. He gets into the secondary. 2 hands on the football. Wrap it up.
134 yards tonight for Faulk. Now just 252 yards short of his single game best. through the hands of Larry Maxey, the H-back. Jesse Armstead running with Maxey in coverage. Maxey's had an interesting career at San Diego State for Al Luganville. He started his career as a running back, then moved to safety in 1989, was the third leading tackler for the Aztecs, then to H-back, then back to running back. Now he's an H-back again.
And that's going to happen at a program that's really trying to build. Eventually, with the kind of recruiting year that I expect San Diego State to have, they'll get solid players that will maintain their positions.
Second down, 10. Under 12 minutes to play. Wayne Pittman, the ball carrier, and Michael Barrow made the tackle.
Miami's rushing defense, they give up only 123 yards a game on the average, which with a guy like Michael Barrow inside, Darren Smith, Jesse Armstead, we said they were the strength of this team. They flow so well east and west.
Let's go defense. Come on, baby.
Michael Barrow with 13 tackles tonight. They set up the screen. Pittman flags down. Pittman gets the block he needs. And he's short of the first down. Joe Hines out ahead of the play, leading the blocking for the Aztecs. There is a flag thrown in the offensive backfield. Thrown by the official on the near sideline.
There's holding on the offense.
Luganville is a specialist of defense. He was a defensive coordinator, linebacker coach.
He served under some of the pretty good head coaches, too, while at Arizona State as the defensive coordinator. He served under Frank Bush and Darrell Rogers.
You see the left arm kind of dragging there. Darnay Scott, Dr. Punch told us earlier, he's got a separated shoulder. And that's one of those things that you can't even hardly raise your arm up and scratch your forehead if it's itching. So playing football with a separated shoulder is not an easy task.
Wayne Pittman now in the backfield. On third down and 19. Miami rushed 4. Man open. Incomplete. And that's probably why, because Harris knew he was going to get drilled right after the ball arrived, and he did.
He's broken up by 31, Darrell Williams.
It takes a lot of courage to be a wide receiver. Up top, number 5, he'll drive up the field, knows it's going to be a zone, runs it to the post pattern. He knows he's going to get hit. He tries to flatten back out so that he can avoid 31, Darrell Williams.
Easy for us to say up here, but that ball should have been caught.
You're right. Easy for us.
I'd like to be a little bit further away before I say that again, however.
Of course, you know, if you know you're going to get hit, go ahead and catch a football.
Savorn to punt, Williams back deep. 21-point lead for Miami with 10:45 to play. Savorn thought about running. Now line drives it inside the 5. They'll spot it out at the 2. What a job by Jason Savorn. Miami back on offense after this.
The punt covers 35 yards.
Presentation of CFA Primetime Football. San Diego State versus Miami is brought to you by Jeep and Eagle, a division of the Chrysler Corporation, proud sponsor of the 1992 U.S. Olympic team, and by O'Doul's from Anheuser-Busch, premium beer taste without the alcohol. A pleasant night in South Florida. The top-ranked Miami Hurricanes trying to extend their winning streak to 17. Their home winning streak to 44. They have a 21-point lead with 10:37 to play. Toretta throwing to Thomas out of the end zone. Good move at the 3. And the gain out to the 10. He sidestepped Andy Coviello and turned it into a gain of 8. They have not yet kicked off at Aloha Stadium. They're going to do so in about 2 or 3 minutes. Notre Dame and Miami in the on-deck circle here on ESPN as the third game of our college football tripleheader. We'll keep you up to date with what's going on out there in Hawaii. Larry Jones now in the backfield. He gets the handoff and loses yardage. Stopped after a loss of 1. Lou Foster at the bottom of the pile, as was Ramondo Stallings, number 90. A sophomore from Ansonia, Connecticut. There's a new center in the game for Miami. We saw Harris with the injured leg. Terrell Green, number 51, a redshirt freshman from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, is in. Down to 10 minutes to play. Third down and 2. Soretta throws, incomplete. Hit Copeland in the numbers. He dropped it. Instead of putting those arms in the air all the time, Horace might want to think about putting them around the football a bit more reliably.
Yeah, precisely.
Craig, if this game ended right now, we talked about the tenuous #1 ranking of Miami. Do you think they'd lose more ground in the polls, or has this been an impressive enough win to hold the fort?
It's tough to ask me that. I believe Washington should be #1 right now.
It's blocked out of the back of the end zone for a safety. Darrell Lewis blocked the punt. Third blocked punt by the Aztecs this year. That might have changed your opinion as well. Now instead of 31-10, it's 31-12, and the Aztecs are going to get the football after a free kick.
San Diego State has not given up in this game. They continue to come, give all that they have. It's a hard-fought game by them. You'll see that now number 9 comes in at a great block angle, a really nice job of knowing where to go for the ball. So many people will go right at the punter rather than going to where the football is at. We'll be right back.
Play. 2 points on the board for San Diego State as a result of the block punt for a safety. They're going to get the football following the free kick. Huerta will kick off from the 20 into the breeze. And out at Aloha Stadium, Clint Johnson and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish getting ready to receive the open kickoff. We'll be sending you out for that game as soon as this one is over. Kickoff got caught in the wind. Wayne Pittman caught it. And he's down at the 36-yard line. And they're underway in Hawaii as well.
Pittman takes the
and
kick.
Excellent coverage on the kickoff by the Rainbows.
3 yards.
It's time now for our weekly presentation of the Toyota Leadership Award. Today's winners are from the University of Miami, Carlos Huerta, senior from Coral Gables. Carlos is a volunteer at the Coral Gables Youth Center and is involved in the Miami Police Department Join a Team, Not a Gang program. He also helps with fundraisers to benefit the Children's Hospital and the Pop Warner Football League. We'll tell you about the winner from San Diego State in a moment. First and 10 Aztecs with their own 36. Lowry, incomplete. Intended for Harris, and now a flag comes in late. I think it's a good call, even though it was late, as James looked to make contact with Harris before the ball arrived.
Pass interference on the defense.
You know, the Miami coaches want to change the image of their team, but after every penalty against the Hurricanes, you look down the sidelines, they all wave their arms in disgust at the officials like they made the wrong call, when tonight we've seen they've been right just about every time on the replay.
Slow that down a little bit. All they can do is throw a flag on one of the guys for going over to the official. The reason that it was a late flag, the official behind Merton Harris and the defensive back, he could not see that the push was taking place. However, the man downfield, he was able to see it. He threw the flag.
.9:33 to play. The Hurricanes favored by as many as 27 points. Lead by 19. Lowry had it batted down. Anthony Hamlet got a piece of it. The winner of our Toyota Leadership Award from San Diego State University is Darrell Lewis, a sophomore from San Diego, California. Darrell has done volunteer work with various youth groups in San Diego County, including the Encanto Boys Club and Skyline Recreation Center. Toyota is pleased to donate $1,000 to each player's school's general scholarship fund. Darrell, as you saw, a pretty good student as well with a 3.3 GPA. We mentioned early in this football game that Rusty Medeiros has been bothered by leg injuries, and he's being helped off.
Miami usually has a great defensive lineman on their team. They've got good athletes now, but you think of several great ones. Russell Maryland, Jerome Brown, Cortez Kennedy.
Greg Martin. They don't have that dominating defensive front this year. As Joe Hines told us yesterday, they have linebackers who run like secondary men. How about that balance from Marshall Faulk? Looked like he was going to be down 3 or 4 times, and he managed to stay on his feet and gain 16 yards for a first down at the 45 of Miami.
16 yards. And it has to take first and 10.
Just a quick hitter up the middle. A nice job by 74 blocking over. And if there has ever been a better freshman running back in college football, I would like to see him. Send me a game clipping, because I'd like to see the man.
150 yards tonight for Marshall Faulk on 24 carries. Hurricanes coming to blitz. And Faulk gains 2 more. He's up to 152. That's the most yards rushing by one player against Miami's defense this year. Chris Hewley of Tulsa carried 30 times for 147 yards in that game. And Marshall's up to 152 here tonight. For those of you waiting for the Notre Dame-Hawaii game, on its first possession, Notre Dame went 3 plays and punt. And Hawaii has the football. Here we have 8:42 remaining. 31-12 Miami. On second down, Lowry throws, caught for a first down. Darnay Scott tackled by Ryan McNeil with a 31. That's a gain of 13.
San Diego State, you think back to the beginning of the game where they had some mistakes. The interception for the touchdown, the fumbled punt by Kevin Williams that happened to pop back out over to him 10 yards. He picks it up and runs 80-something yards down to the 1 or 2 yard line. Several things have happened. If those had been eliminated early in the game, this is a different score. And that's why when I continue my answer about who's #1 in the country, I just don't believe that Washington can be matched in talent, speed, and domination.
Throws incomplete. Shoved out of bounds was Faulk as he collided with Darren Smith. That was well beyond that 5-yard area you were talking about earlier.
Out of bounds.
Marshall's complaining to the official on the near sideline. I think he has a legitimate point.
There's a 5-yard zone that man can hit you before he's got to let you go. I just don't understand, how that official who was standing there, maybe it's one of those things that he says, it was not a catchable pass.
Well, it might have been if he didn't get knocked into the 3rd row.
Right.
Lowry now 17 for 44. With 3 interceptions. He's thrown for 173 yards. Back to the delay. Faulk in trouble. Managed to duck under and turned it into a gain of 1. Tripped up by Michael Barrow.
Caesar and Armstead. The pickup is 1.
Marshall Faulk up to 1,426 yards with his performance tonight. Only 2 freshmen have ever rushed for more yards. And as Craig pointed out earlier, Marshall has missed 3 3/4 games this season.
Well, you can take any of the top 4 there. Emmitt Smith, who's one of the best running backs in the NFL. Dorsett speaks for itself, as well as Herschel Walker.
Faulk on the sideline on 3rd down to 9. Wayne Pittman has replaced him in the backfield. Pittman stayed in the block as Lowry throws, intercepted. Jesse Armstead picked it off. 4th interception of the night thrown by David Lowry.
Jesse Armstead yesterday on the field told me that, hey, I'm going to play a good game. Last season, San Diego State picked on the Will linebacker quite a bit. He was not in the game. He was out with a bad knee. He said he'd come out tonight. He'd play well. He's done that. He's thrown his body around. The interception, Jesse Armstead, #1, he'll be at the left side of your screen. Drop in, and Lowry just looked right through him.
7:12 to play as Toretta looks deep. That's up for grabs, and that is nearly intercepted. Damon Thierry had a great chance at it, couldn't haul it in. That was a virtual punt from Gino Toretta. And this might say something about what we've been talking about relative to the polls. They're ahead by 19, and yet they're going deep down the field. Maybe they're doing that just because they thought that was there. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was designed to get more points to solidify that #1 ranking. Again, we peek in at Aloha Stadium. Still no score in that game. Notre Dame just intercepted a Hawaii pass. They had it for the second time. Here's Martin Patton into San Diego State territory and finally out of bounds at the 30-yard line. A gain of 53.
Stopped by Lewis.
And yes, they do try to run the ball and try to score more points. 31-12 in this ball game, getting late into the fourth quarter. And they have not dominated San Diego State, particularly when you take into account that Darnay Scott's got a separated shoulder. Patrick Rowe, the other wide receiver's got, you know, a bad ankle.
Correct myself, it was a game of 43 on the pass play to Patton. Jason Marucci is now lined up behind Toretta. 31-12 Miami, 6:53 to play. Copeland is open. Touchdown.
Copeland, 30-yard Hurricane touchdown.
Well, they're going to go for 2. They're up 25 at the moment. A 2-point play would make it a 27-point advantage. Miami has called the timeout to talk things over. I think they are thinking more about that #1 ranking than they've been on. Back in a moment. 7-12 Miami. Dennis Erickson used the timeout to discuss a 2-point play. Try to go ahead by 27 points with 6:46 to play.
And it was 27 points what the experts said they should win by.
According to the local paper.
I'm surprised
that they're going for 2.
Yes,
I am too. I understand that they're in the situation they're in, but I am surprised. Lamar Thomas up for the catch. Well, they have certainly picked on John Lewis all night long. Copeland caught the touchdown next to Lewis, and now the 2-point play is Thomas going up and over Lewis. The lead is 27 with 6:46 to play, and let's check in with Dr. Jerry Punch.
Gentlemen, we caught up with Dr. John Uribe on the sidelines, who's the orthopedic surgeon here at Miami. And John, behind us sitting is Rusty Medeiros. First of all, give us a status on Rusty.
Well, Rusty's coming off a rather severe ankle sprain. He just retwisted a little bit tonight, and I think he'll be fine for the ball game.
Now, Monday afternoon, you spent 5 hours in an operating room with Stephen McGuire, the starting fullback. What's his status?
Well, Steve had a rather serious injury. He hyperextended or straightened out his leg excessively. We tore both the ligaments inside his knee and some of the outside ligaments. So I think, given his character, he should be back next year.
Back for the final year?
I think so. Everything went real well after surgery. The knee was real stable, and he's a great kid. And he's come back from a knee injury on the other side without incident, so I think he'll be back.
John, thank you very much. John Uribe, the orthopedic surgeon who has put so many Hurricanes back together here on the sideline. Back upstairs.
We saw the blow to the knee of McGuire in last week's game against Boston College. You can understand why he would have such a serious injury after a hit like that directly on the knee. And you talk to people around Miami football, the coaches, the players, Linda Venzen, who does such a great job in their sports information office, and they talk about John Uribe as a very valuable man to the Miami football program. You don't have to use his services very often, but as Jerry said, he does a great job. The return to the 33-yard line. A good field position for the Aztecs after the return by Wayne Pittman. 6:40 to play, 39-12 Miami. A big night for Gino Toretta. We're at the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida, where the Hurricanes are about to win their 44th consecutive home game. Sean McDonough along with Craig James and Dr. Jerry Punch. Notre Dame and Hawaii underway in Honolulu. And we'll be going there as soon as this one is over. That game is still scoreless in the first quarter. Marshall Falk, first down and more. He's out to the 47-yard line, tackled by Darren Smith, who's had the kind of night befitting a finalist for the Football News Player of the Year and a first-team All-American. Gino Torretta tonight, 431 yards, which is a little bit shy of his career high, 468 against San Jose State in 1989, but he has established a career high with a 4 touchdown pass. And his yardage tonight is a season high. Falk ducks under the 50-yard line. Again, Michael Barrow made the tackle, and what a game he's played.
He's a leader. He gets inside at middle linebacker position, flows really well. In between tackles, makes a lot of plays. One thing about the Miami defense, they didn't come into the season with a lot of the big name players, but they say that they're playing better as a unit than any of the defenses they've had here at Miami.
Second and 8. Lowry throws. Merton Harris is open. Ball's just a little bit over his head.
Intended for Merton Harris. Third down and 8.
Williams and James had coverage on Harris. Lowry finished second in the WAC in pass efficiency behind only Ty Detmer, but he has not had his best night tonight.
It was only a couple of weeks ago we saw him throw for 556 yards. Detmer hit him for 599. Of course, they were having the old track meet then. Draw it up in the dirt, go back 7 yards, wait till the man gets 40 yards downfield and throw it deep. Miami's got too much team speed in the secondary for them to do that tonight.
On third down and 8, they set up the screen to Pittman. Here comes Barrow. Michael Barrow chased him down from behind. Herbert James also there for Miami. Yeah, I'd say the linebackers run like defensive backs, as Joe Hines told us last night they do.
They're able to keep their linebackers in there and run all of their packages. They do not have to change out. 56, middle of your screen. He sees it right now. He sees the guard pull. He sees the running back going out into the flat, and he pursues and makes the play.
We're under 5 minutes to play. Barrow accepts the congratulations along the sideline as Jason Savorn comes on the punt. This time they do kick it out of bounds away from Kevin Williams.
You know, I say that I believe Washington's the #1 team in the country, and I'll stand by that.
I agree with you.
But, you know, I'm not taking anything away from Miami. They're a good team. They beat Florida State in Tallahassee. That was a major achievement, accomplishment. Of course, you know, the width of a football is keeping Florida State from winning that football game. I just believe that team speed is equaled by the Huskies. They've dominated everybody.
Well, they're both two of the best defenses in the country. Lee Corso made the point on game day today that Washington's offense, in his opinion, is better than Miami's.
More consistent.
Looking in again at Aloha Stadium. Notre Dame, at the last report, driving down the field. They're midway through the first quarter and still scoreless. And Notre Dame on the 30-yard line.
Lou Holtz said they were going to go back to the basics at Notre Dame. Running, blocking, tackling. Give it to the bowling ball, Jerome Bettis.
Here in Miami, 1st and 10 for the Canes. They come out, throw it again. Off the hands of Martin Patton. Running in coverage was Lou Foster. Speaking of Lou Holtz, we say goodbye to Lou. 39-12 here, Miami, with 4:39 to play. All Dennis Erickson and the Hurricanes can do, as you point out, is win every game they play. They've done that so far, so hard to argue that point. They also would point to their schedule as being a little bit more difficult. Although Washington went down to Nebraska and won that game on the road, they won at California. Pass caught by Chris Jones, the redshirt freshman. He's out of bounds at the 29-yard line, knocked out by Eric Sutton.
And that's precisely the question or the point that I would have made. And now I ask you this. How do you think Miami would do going to Nebraska, going to a foreign field, and not playing in the Orange Bowl on January the 1st?
Well, Al Luganville made the point yesterday. We talked about the 4 teams that Luganville thought matched up athletically with Miami were on the Hurricanes schedule this year. Those teams being Tulsa, who the Hurricanes handled relatively easily, Penn State, Florida State, and San Diego State. Well, Penn State, the punt return wins it from Williams. Loretta calls a timeout. They won that game by 6 at home. Florida State, as you pointed out, they lose if that field goal is 1 foot to the left. And tonight, they've pretty well had things under control against San Diego State. Flag thrown. And the question is there a penalty or does the timeout stand? And it's the timeout, the second used by Miami here in the second half. 4:34 to play. The #1 Hurricanes on their way to 11-0. Found with Craig James and Dr. Jerry Punch at the Orange Bowl in Miami. 39-12 Hurricanes with 4:34 to play. They called a timeout to discuss the 3rd down and 4 call. Toretta throws, caught. First down, and out of bounds goes Lamar Thomas at the 38-yard line. The Visa players of the game for Miami, Gino Toretta, now 21 of 42 for 445 yards and 4 touchdowns with no interceptions. And for San Diego State, Marshall Faulk, who tonight became the first freshman ever to lead the NCAA in rushing. Marshall tonight 27 carries, 154 yards. Congratulations to the Visa players of the game. Now correct.
Yeah, hey, I hear you. Why are they throwing the football?
Up by 27 with 4:21 to play. They can say all we want to do is win, and Dennis Erickson, we heard his comment at the start of the telecast. We don't worry about the margin, we just worry about winning. Well, I would tend to differ with that opinion right now. Throwing the ball with 4 minutes to play ahead by 27, he has to be thinking about the ranking.
Actions speak louder than words.
Yes, indeed. Well said. And I don't mean to bring that up to be critical of Dennis Erickson. I think certainly you can justify this behavior in light of the fact that last week's win still resulted in a lessening of their lead in the poll. There's Kelvin Harris,
the Pop Warner Football Championships that were in attendance tonight here at the Orange Bowl. Welcome to those youngsters.
And he had the knee brace on. There's a debate as to whether that really is any good or if it prevents knees. Ron O'Neill, our trainer in New England, I used to go round and round with him about those things. Some people think they're good. Some think they get in the way and they hinder you from getting out of a bad hit.
Jason Marucci close to a first down. He appears to have it out at the 48-yard line.
Miami has so many players. They're so deep in talent. Just imagine what some of these backup second and third teamers would do on other Division I teams.
Out at Aloha Stadium, Rodney Culver of Notre Dame had scored on a short run, and Notre Dame leads Hawaii 7-0. Again, for those of you just tuning in, we'll be heading to that game as soon as this one is over, and we're down to 2:55 remaining. Well, let's say the San Diego State Aztecs are the Carlton Fisks of college football. They tend to be involved in very long games. We saw them play a 4-hour marathon 2 weeks ago against BYU, and this game is now 3.5 hours old, still with 2.5 minutes to play.
Yeah, I think I get more tired as an announcer as I did as a player. It takes me They don't have to overcome this.
Toretta throwing it deep. Thomas, great adjustment to the ball. Has to beat Lewis. Now a couple of other Aztec defenders come over. And he's out of bounds at the 20-yard line. That is a 31-yard gain.
John Lewis, he'll take this game film tonight, and it'll drive him nuts. He's got to come back and play the football. This is an air ball because of the blitz, and Toretta does a nice job of just getting it off. Lamar Thomas gives a shake and bake and then wants to get away from getting hit. Stops the clock, 2:12 to go. But John Lewis has just not played the ball. He's played the receiver all night long.
Gino Toretta has just broken his own school record for passing yardage in a single game. He's thrown for 485 yards tonight. Breaking his record of 468 yards at 89 against San Jose State. Larry Jones down the sideline and out of bounds at the 13-yard line. 2:05 to play. Hurricanes looking for a ranking solidifying score.
They're working on it right now. Orange as it'll be for Miami.
On second down and 2, Marucci lost the football. The Aztecs saying they have it, and they do. Marucci, the third string running back, lost the handle at the 15-yard line. Yeah, that's the second turnover tonight for Dennis Erickson's team, both of them on fumbles. Should anything dramatic happen here, we will come back and give you the details, but in just a few seconds we are going to send you out to Hawaii for the Notre Dame-Hawaii game. Craig, your thoughts about tonight's game?
Congratulations to Miami. They are a very good football team. Dennis Erickson's done an outstanding job with them. San Diego State, a sleeping giant, as Al Luganville says, about to wake up in the WAC conference.
Another perfect regular season for Miami, their third since 1986. For Craig James, Sean McDonough, so long. Let's send you to Hawaii.
Thank you, Sean. This is Steve Fisk.
For doing so with a waltz past San Diego State at the Orange Bowl. Coach Dennis Erickson now looking ahead to Nebraska in the Orange Bowl on New Year's Day. Check it out. Gino Toretta up top. See you later. Former Evans High School star Horace Copeland wide open, 66 yards for the bomb. Miami leading this one 39-13 late in the fourth.
At the Orange Bowls, the Canes love to rough it up with anybody who comes into their house. First quarter, San Diego State's David Lowry airs it out, but he's picked off by Darrell Williams, who takes it the other way, 27 yards for the touchdown. Miami led it 10-0. And then the Canes got the offense cranking. Gino Toretta steps up into the pocket, throws deep to a wide-open Horace Copeland. Where's the defense? Nowhere. He scores 66-yard touchdown, 17-0 Miami. And then in the third quarter, still up by 14, Toretta once again, part of a huge night, 485 yards passing. Toretta to Martin Patton, and he does the rest of the damage. 69 yards for the score. It was 31-10 Miami. No scare like last year from the Aztecs. Miami wins it big, 39-12 for their 44th straight win in the Orange Bowl.